Welcome, 皆さんようこそ。Sony Interactive Entertainment のジム・ライアンです。PlayStation はこれからも世界で一番のゲームを作ります。もっともっと面白いです。ドキドキします。一緒の楽しみましょう。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the March 1st Cool Stream. Thank you, Japan Studios. Thank you for 27 years of memories. Everyone out there, I want you to humbly study this face. Take it in. Let it sink in. Can anyone out there tell me what this face is? This is a face that is exhausted, oh so tired of being fed. Being fed what, you might ask? Being fed a heaping, steaming load of bullshit. That is BULLSHID. Bullshit. Tired of it. Tired of the double speak. I'm tired of Jim Ryan. I am tired of every Reddit.com user that says, it's not that bad. They're just being recentered. They're being recentered. All rolled into the Astrobot development team because that's what we wanted when we bought a PS5. We waited in line. The promise of more Japanese games. The memories, just like they used to be. Back when Sony was innovative, creative, dreamers of dreams. They made it all. The game I'm about to play for you right now, Ape Escape, blazed a trail for the DualShock controller. 2 sticks. Innovation. Laid the groundwork for every game that you see in the modern era. 2 sticks. DualShock, dual analog. But now, since December, Jim Ryan's come out and he said, well, Japanese games, we have a core focus on Japan is our second largest market. Of course, we're not abandoning Japanese games, the Japanese gamer, the people that enjoy Japanese games. Really, Jim? Big heaping load of bullshit for Christmas. Thank you very much. Well, I'm so happy I didn't rush out there and fight the bot swarms that you didn't protect us from when it came to purchasing a PlayStation 5. PlayStation lie. I am sick and tired of everyone talking to me like they know some shit that I don't know. I called it. Hikiko called it. Hikiko was right. And where were you guys? Why are you getting an Xbox? Why? Are you an Xbot now? You know, Microsoft, Western company. Sony, not Western. Oh, wait. Sony's actually a Western company. And they've cut out all their roots. They cut out their Japanese game studios like they were a cancer. Like they were ashamed. Well, I'm not ashamed. I'm a Japanese gamer to the bone. Ichiban, #1 Japanese gamer. You were lied to, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you took the bait. But guess what? Sometimes we all take the bait. I'm not going to victim blame you because you guys are the victims. The cucks that went out there and bought the PS5, I'm very sorry for you. But here I am on my Xbox Series X doing something that the PlayStation 5 cannot do. Play Ape Escape. That's right. Leave that like. That's an intro, motherfuckers. That's an intro. Welcome to today's cool stream. I hope you enjoyed the intro. I put that together. It was a little rush thing I put together, but I wanted to capture the feeling the hurt that I felt inside after watching the most recent state of play. Or, as I like to call it, the absolute state of play. How embarrassing. I cannot even stand the amount of copium that's been shot into my face by every little Twitter tweet. Oh my god, Sony did it again. They're releasing Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC. Oh, they have the exclusive contract till April 1st, 2021. You mean everyone else is going to be able to play that exact same DLC on their PCs, on their Xbox Ones? Hell, they may even play that mobile edition on their Nintendo Switches. Stop feeding me the bullshit. I'm sick of it, okay? Hikiko was right. Hikiko told you what was up. You just didn't want to listen. Another hard truth. Another Sony pill to swallow that I'm feeding you. La 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 la. Oh! And then how do you get rid of that? Just with a big old dose of copium. Once again, I have to hear it. I'm Team Xbox. I'm Team Switch. I got the Series X Switch power combo. You guys who went out, well, did you understand? The PS5 can play all those PS4 games back when games are good. Can it play Ape Escape? I think not. Guess who is playing Ape Escape on their Series X? That would be me. I didn't fall for the bullshit. I'm not supporting Sony, okay? I would probably even deny a free PS5 at this point. You've all brought this upon yourself. You all brought this upon yourself by denying what was in front of you, because the writing was on the wall before December. Kiichiro Toyama, creator of Gravity Rush, creator of Silent Hill, creator of Siren, okay? He was probably the biggest red flag, but there were others. There were others before. Team Ico. What happened to Team Ico? What happened to the creator of Wild Arms? Do you even know his name? I don't. Gone. Okay? No Heroes Allowed? Gone. No more Tokyo Jungles. No more Parappa the Rappers. No more Ape Escapes. As the Joker once said, you get what you flippin' deserve, Sony ponies. But those games aren't graphics. They aren't graphics. Do you know Horizon? You cave woman, robots, cave woman, bow and arrow, Hunger Games. Do you Hunger Games? I like Hunger Games games. I like to not be able to climb a very basic hill. Guess what Ape Escape can do that Horizon can't do? Look, a double jump. I'm jumping. I can traverse all sorts of terrain. Remember when games had gameplay? I do. That's why I'm so sad. I'm so sad for all you copers out there. All you Sony copers. The Sony cope is strong. It is super strong. Well, I forgive you. You know not the goodness that you could have had. But you shat on old Hikiko. I was praising the guy. I told you guys, Sony's dead. I told you guys the Japanese games are going to be found elsewhere. They're going third party. Just get a PC. I'm on board with the PC master race. Just stop with the console lie, the console delusion. You lie to yourself. Well, I'm not going to listen to it anymore. I told you. Hikiko was right. Hashtag Hikiko was right in chat. I better see it. I heard it. I heard all the bullshit for months. Why are you getting an Xbox Series X? Don't you realize all the Japanese games you love are going to be on the No. You want to know the one Japanese game that I saw on that state of play, the absolute state of play? It was Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh, I'm sorry. I already have a PS4. I've already played that. But Yuffie DLC. Do you Yuffie? Do you remember Yuffie? My lolly ninja from Wutai? It's worth it for her. It's worth it for her, is what some anonymous stranger told me. That I'm not making up. Well, anonymous stranger who has a creepy obsession with Yuffie, tell you what. You want to play with Yuffie? You can play it on the Series X. April 1st, that exclusivity's over. It's all over. Hell, may even show up on PS4. They say, oh, it's using PS5 tech. You know what's not? Money. Money is not using PS5 tech. Square Enix always backtracks on their shit. Just wait. Just wait. Regardless, coming out to PC. Regardless, coming out to Xbox Series of consoles. Sony's got nothing there for me. Sony's got nothing. That's me right there. I'm drowning. I'm drowning in all the bullshit that I've been fed. Well, I'm sorry that this was your first Sony pill. This may be your first Sony pill, but from here on out, expect nothing but disappointment and half-truths. Expect Western development teams to make some bizarre homunculi out of the essence of the Japanese games that you once loved, put through the filter. Expect all that DMC, all you people that were trashing on DMC, Dante, okay? That's what you're going to get, okay? That's what you deserve. You get what you flippin' deserve, Joker 2019. Okay? That's what you deserve. You didn't go out there and buy Ape Escape on the move. You didn't go out there and buy iToy day one like your old boy Hikiko did, okay? iPet. You didn't buy iPet, that fucking nasty little creature that they tried to make happen. It didn't happen. You didn't do that, and this is the future you deserve. Okay? I, on the other hand, I bought the Series X, and I'm supporting Ape Escape by playing Ape Escape on my Series X. I'm supporting it. All right? You didn't buy Ape Escape Ape Academy. You didn't buy Vib Ribbon. You didn't buy Wild Arms Alter Code F, Jumping Flash 2, the Mew Mew Pocket that was Japan only. You didn't buy that. The re-release of Legend of Dragoon on the PlayStation 3, download only. Didn't do that. I saw it. No heroes allowed. No more games allowed. You didn't go out there and review No Heroes Allowed VR. The only No Heroes Allowed VR review on YouTube, hikikomorimedia.com. You didn't do that. I did that. I tried to save them. I tried to save the Japanese games, and you didn't listen. For No Heroes Allowed, rest in peace, bad man. Get out my face! Just get out my face! Let me read some of this pathetic chat. Sad chat. Hikiko was right. There it is, Mr. Greedius. Thank you, Mr. Greedius. Glaive-san, thank you for joining Give Me Them Badges. You got 2 Hassy cans. It's not your fault. I can't blame you. You've got the badges. You've got the 2 Hassy cans. I can't blame you. All ogre now, says Dandelion. Mr. Greedius, yeah, so the Final Fantasy VII DLC totally won't appear on PC and Xbox. Yeah, the censorship, says Dandelion. Just put them all, just give them all Hillary Clinton pants. Give them suit pants. Give all your anime waifus suit pants now. That's what you want. Thank you, California Sony. Thank you for completely, we built our entire empire on panty shots. We built our entire empire on Galgun and Hyperdimension Neptunia. We built our entire empire on barely legal anime girls. And now, that's not a part of our history anymore. No. That wasn't us. We would never do that. I'm sick of it, okay? I'm sick of the hypocrisy. I'm sick of the denial. I'm sick of now we have grim, dark torture porn, super brutish action games, okay? That's what you get. That's what you deserve. If you're friends with me on PSN and I see a Last of Us 2 trophy, even a bronze trophy, I'm unfriending you. I'm doing that after this stream, okay? You talked all that shit. You talked all that shit with a D. You talked all that shit. You made fun of all the leaked footage, and you bought it anyway, okay? This is your bed. This is your bed with soybean sheets. Now you gotta lay in it, okay? I'm gonna just go ahead. This is what I did. I'll tell you what I did the moment I watched the state of play. Outside of just crying for all the good memories. And like this is what gets me the most. That same day, they tried to cover up the whole restructuring, recentering. We're just going to recenter, okay? This is where Japan Studios is. We're just going to recenter them right here so they can make more Astrobot. We need more tech demo-like games. We need to test out our new VR hardware. They're going to go do that. We'll have them do that, okay? That same day, as the state of play, news broke that many key members of Japan Studio were leaving. Producers on Bloodborne, producers on Demon Souls, they're gone. Kiichiro Toriyama was gone in December. Team Ico left famously after The Last Guardian. I mean, it's been happening. It's just you just haven't been watching it. Like, they haven't been advertising it. So that same day, the state of play went up. Tokyo Studios was essentially disbanded. They don't want to come out and say, yeah, we've disbanded it, it's done. No, they had to use the word recentering. No. You got us all wrong. We're just recentering to make one IP. Okay? To make one IP. We're going to make Astrobot. Jesus H. Nomura. Okay? I'm not falling for it anymore. We got Japanese games, okay? Atlas is going to make us more Persona. Atlas is making us Persona. Meanwhile, Microsoft's building a great relationship with Sega and Atlas at the moment. Okay, Sega and Microsoft, they haven't been this close since the original Xbox. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Back when the original Xbox was essentially the Dreamcast 2. They're mending this bridge, okay? If you are under any delusion that Persona and other Atlas games aren't being prepped for Game Pass, I got another pill for you to swallow. It's going to be a bitter one. All your Japanese games are going to be third party now. Sony does not care about Japan anymore. They're our second largest market. Okay. Then close down your legacy. The whole foundation of Sony was founded upon, like, go now. Pull up a Wikipedia list of all Tokyo Studios, or Japan Studios, excuse me. Go look at all of Japan Studios' developed titles. That list is staggering. Games that I never even dreamed they were behind. Just staggering. And all these, I don't know. I was so upset, but I wasn't surprised, is what I will say. I was upset, but I wasn't surprised. This has been going down since the Vita. Okay, the Vita was the first shot fired that I heard. I was listening. I knew this day would come. It has come. I don't want to hear any of you Reddit.com people trying to say, to be fair. Don't you dare to be fair me on my own channel. Don't you gaslight me and try and give me any hope that Japan Studios is ever going to be like it was. Things ain't like they was before, Rick. Get it through your head. It's over. Party's over. I'm not going to be the bag holder in this situation. I'm gone. Okay? I'm probably not going to get... Like, this has re-solidified my position not to get a PS5 for a very long while. Maybe beyond a slim. Maybe beyond a slim. All right. I'm sorry I took a disappointed tone with you, chat. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Some of you in there, it is your fault, though. Okay. Glaveson says, I've been playing Yakuza Like a Dragon and said, good choice. My favorite game of 2020. The Fighter says, Fumito Ueda and Gin designer now at Epic. Looking forward to see what they do next. Last Guardian was fantastic. I agree, it was fantastic. People complain. I hate the hair splitters when it comes to that game. People are like, the controls are so obtuse. I can't control Trico. Oh, you mean this wild animal that you just discovered, this giant beast that you just discovered's not going to listen to you at first? You ever played a Pokemon game and then you tried to wrangle one of those very strong Pokemons before you got the correct badges and they didn't respect you? Oh, you weren't complaining then. It's a great game. I wouldn't call it perfect. Sure, it's rough. But I loved it, okay? I loved it. And you didn't support it. I saw people... Let me tell you something. I was at the E3 experience. Let me show you here. Here's my proof. Do you even have one of these? Do you even have an E3 experience cup that you've been drinking Coca-Cola, estrogen, releasing plastics for years like me? Oh, that's pretty good. Listen up, okay? I was in the theater at that E3 experience when they were showing off like, oh, Last Guardian. Oh, shit, I forgot the minigame. I was at the theater when they showed off that The Last Guardian was coming out for PS4, and I saw grown men next to me crying. Tears were welling up. Oh, it's happening. The Last Guardian, my childhood. I remember Shadow of the Colossus is finally happening. Okay, I remember that, and they were crying. Guess who didn't go out there and buy it? Same dudes, okay? They let it down. They let it down. It's done. And now they let all the Westerners, Blue Point, take over that franchise, okay? Same thing with Demon Souls. You went out there and supported all these... Like, this is essentially whitewashing. Can I say that? Oh, it's good. It's HD graphics, 60 frames, has no artist touch. It's just essentially tracing at this point. Let's just trace over these already beautiful, developed Japanese games. Let's just trace over this artist's vision. You let it happen. I'm sorry. I really do love The Last Guardian. It's one of those once-in-a-lifetime games that will probably never be funded by Sony again. They won't let stuff like that happen anymore. And that's the sad and honest truth. If the state of play, and I'm not even just saying the last one, but if the last 3 state of plays clued you in about anything, it's that they've completely abandoned the Japanese style. All the developers are not pleased by Sony's strength. So I would say the Western side of Sony, because some people would argue they are an international company. That is true. But I would say their California offices have the most say in the design, and I can't get down with that. Rewind video. I just got Countdown of Vampires today. It's been so long since I played it. Why would you do that to yourself? Akimbo was taken. I've given up completely on video games. I have not given up. On video games, okay? There's still plenty. There's a whole sea of video games yet to be discovered, okay? My interest is going to be in the translation community. You should be supporting and encouraging the translation community and the patchers out there that are bringing those games that Sony and other companies will never bring out, that we never got to experience. So if you can, if you see anything, just like little projects, I got to tell you guys, whenever I see somebody do something cool, like, oh, I'm putting my blood, sweat, and tears and doing a Mazurna Falls English patch, okay? I'm going to try and make that the impossible happen, and I'm bringing it west. When you see people doing that, give them even the tiniest bit of encouragement. Give them a like, give them a retweet, give them an upvote if you must. Because that's unfortunately where the future is, I think, of Japanese games. It's going to be in localizing games that were never localized before. And third party for sure. They're going to the indie route too. Onion Games is looking at bringing forward some of their older titles, possibly Rule of Rose, possibly. They got a survey out. I encourage you to check my Twitter. I posted it up on my Twitter, Hikikomori Media. There's a link to the survey. Take it. Let them know. Just let them know the games you loved. I recommend. Oh, damn it. I recommended a friend to play Million Onion Hotel because they were looking for a good mobile game. That's my one go-to mobile game that I recommend always. So yeah, it's sad state, but if you want the Japanese games, now it's put up or shut up. I mean, I've been saying it's been put up or shut up for years, but now more so than ever because you're just not going to see first-party support, unfortunately. Except for when it comes to Nintendo. Nintendo's been rather consistent about supporting Japanese devs. So I guess you can look forward to that, but when it comes to Sony, I just don't see them as the saviors of Japanese games. Really sad. Glaveson says, Mother 3 is the biggest example of translators bringing us an absolute masterpiece westward. Yeah. Golly. I think it's been about 12 years or something like that. It's been a very long time since that got translated. I remember playing through the whole game when they just posted the script. They posted a guide on how to play Mother 3, and you just basically had to follow this guy's footsteps. Like, go north, talk to this really tall-looking guy. Here's what he says. And then I played through right before the patch, and then I played through it again on my PSP when the patch happened. That's a real shame. But yeah, that's a good point. Games like Mother 3, Nintendo's not going to touch Mother 3 with a 10-foot pole, okay? They're not going to. There's some questionable content in there, and I don't think it's personally bad at all, but Nintendo's very image-focused, okay? Very image-focused, and they just won't suffer any sort of controversy, okay? They're definitely bottom line people. They care about their investors first. And even if it means like sticking with known IPs and releasing Zelda for $60, a port of that, like they don't give a fuck what their fans think. They care about their investors, so they'll probably never translate Mother 3, unfortunately. They'll constantly tease it, though. They're fine with teasing it. They've been teasing it for over a decade and making fun of the Mother 3 community for wanting it. Even on Robot Chicken, which surprised me, when Reggie made a cameo on there. And he just lit a Mother 3 fan on fire. Go look that up. Go look at Reggie. Just type in Reggie Mother 3 and you'll see it. They like portrayed the Mother 3 community as a fat neckbeard and they lit him on fire. Just allowing that to go through was shocking to me. Anyways, guys, you guys are bumming me out. I swear, at the end of this stream, I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep. Mother 3. Let's see. Little King story, yeah. I don't think Kimura owns the rights to Little King Story. I don't think Onion Games owns the rights to that. The most recent release of Little King was up on the Vita. I think it's called New Little King Story, and Kimura didn't have anything to do with that. Shame. Shameful. Am I supposed to wait till I get the slingshot? I know this game has some Metroidvania qualities, like where you can't get certain monkeys until you get like a weapon of some kind. But I think I'm supposed to slingshot this dude. The camera control is not ideal, but it's serviceable for early. What is this? 1999? That's about midway through PlayStation 1. Maybe it's a little closer to late, because 2001 was PS2. Let's just go for another monkey, huh? Yeah, so let me get to a good place to read some chat here. I see a monkey over there. I gotta meet my monkey quota. Little King Story is marvelous. Hey, we got Zodiac Nimico in here. We got the Hikikos, the Hassie, the Vita. Mr. Greedia says, not Sony Atlas. I just hope they don't remake Ishin. You hope they don't remake Ishin? Why not? I'd like at least an English translation. Also, I think Moon is a cult classic that was finally fully translated. Yes. Moon is fantastic. It's on the Nintendo Switch. Hasn't got a physical release, but it's on the survey. So if you go on my Twitter, there's the Onion Games survey. Take that survey and tell me you want a Moon physical release. That's an option on there. There was a limited release of it, I think. A Japanese physical release of it. Kirk has it. It's Asia English. So once you play it on a North American system, you do get the translation patch on there. So if you do want a physical, there is one out there, but it's going to cost you a pretty penny for sure. Looks like monkeys are hiding somewhere. Use your monkey radar. To use a new gadget, press start and then triangle button. Oh, okay, I got assigned. I see. So gadget. Just use your monkey radar. Duh. I think it's... Yeah. Hey, Andrew Erickson, thank you so much. Massive dono, $5. Use these nugs to dry your tears. Andrew, funny you should mention that. I started my day off with... I went over to McDonald's because McDonald's has a brand new chicken sandwich out. So I was like, I gotta try it. It's the equivalent of the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. So I did try it. It tastes somewhat like Chick-fil-A. I'd say it's more buttery. The breading on it has more pepper, but not a lot of spices on there. I liked it. I would get it again. The price is very competitive with Chick-fil-A. I think it was $4 for the sandwich. I also had a coupon. Loved it. So I will be using that super chat money to buy me all them chicken sandwiches. Sandwiches. Give me them chicken sandwiches. But yes, I do spend all my super chat money on chicken sandwiches. And the lighting you see here, I'm working on a new video at the moment. It's going to take me a little bit. I'd say mid-March it'll be out. Big retrospective. I wanted to make like a little Japan Studios video. The intro of this channel is kind of on the same line there. It just really depresses me that people don't realize what they're losing. This is something I've gone back and forth with people who just don't care. Like, why should it bother me? I'm like, eventually you're going to get tired of playing the same game over and over again, right? Eventually you're going to get tired of watching your favorite streamer stream the same third-person cover shooter or action collectathon and all that. The world's going to be a more boring place without Japan Studio. And I blame nobody else but Sony. Their marketing is horrendous. And then they always fall back on, well, the game didn't sell. The game didn't sell. I don't recall ever seeing a commercial for Gravity Rush on TV. I don't recall seeing any Cat merchandise in store. I would say Cat is one of the most unique heroines that Sony's ever released. I know they're focused more on grim, dark, brutal children like Ellie and whatever the other girl's name is, and then the Horizon girl. I don't even know her name. I mean, Sony has so much potential to tap in and like have a... I mean, like, if you think about Kat from Gravity Rush, she's like Captain Marvel-ish, right? Like, she's Captain Marvel-esque. She's got, like, comic book... She could have tapped into that Spider-Man demographic, right? If they only gave her a real chance in the West. They really screwed over Kiichiro Toyama in Team Gravity big time. And it wasn't just that. I mean, Gravity Rush is just one in a line of many franchises they just straight up abandoned. Is it really all that expensive to develop a Parappa the Rapper game? I mean, like, what do you imagine the budget is on Parappa the Rapper? Is it like maybe $2 million at most? Maybe $2 million at most? Yeah, like the most of the work goes into developing the rap, right? And then you just play sound samples. I bet somebody could easily develop a Parappa the Rapper game using an Elgato soundboard. One of those Elgato stream decks, you know. Just play sound samples of Parappa's voice. Animate. You can, in Adobe After Effects, I learned how to do this. Like, if you watch my Mad World video, I learned how to just do simple animations. You just make a cutout of Parappa, and you just simply animate him, and you tune it to an Elgato stream deck, and there you go, Parappa 3. Jammer Lammy 2. The creator of Parappa, he went out and he collaborated with the creator of Guitar Man. They actually had a Kickstarter out for a game that you probably have never heard about. It's called Project Rap Rabbit. That is RAPRABBIT. Rap Rabbit. And there's a trailer for it out there. They tried to get money for it, and it was like a crossover between Parappa and Guitar Man. It was like taking the best elements of both games and mashing it up into a brand new rhythm game. And I heard about it just as the campaign was over, and it bummed me out for like a whole month. I just kept thinking about it in my head, like, imagine if this game would have come out. Imagine. I just get sad thinking about shit like that. Try not to dwell too hard today, guys. Yeah, Guitar Man was pretty alright. Don't give me... Akimbo was taken... You better say was phenomenal, was jaw-droppingly great. Guitar Man is the best rhythm game to ever exist. Was pretty all right. Don't sell it too short. Phenomenal. The best rhythm game to ever exist. Get that shit out of here. I'm sick of... No. You better take that back. This is your one chance to take that back. To say it was great, or we're kicking you out of here forever. I'm just going to do it. I will eat all the downvotes. Tasty. It's worth it to defend my bay. Guitar Man, the best rhythm game to ever exist. Nothing can hold Akimbo. I'm sorry, Akimbo. I didn't mean to tease you like that. But seriously, I love that game. I really love that game. There's nothing like it out there. All right. It was jaw-dropping. He did it. Thank you, Akimbo. Thank you. Thank you, Akimbo. I appreciate it, man. I've streamed Guitar Man a couple of times on the Cool Stream. It's one of my favorite games to just pick up and play. I can play it hundreds of times and never get bored with it. It's my benchmark, by the way, whenever it comes to new emulation or hacking my systems. I just try and see if it plays Guitar Man. And if it plays Guitar Man, then it passes the test. The Guitar Man test. Yeah, the Goemon games are great. Captain Ron, what do you think of all these polyamorous women with the Hellraiser piercings and the fruit roll-up dyed hair, Hikiko? I don't leave my house, so I got no opinion on them. Maybe they're all right. Maybe they're assholes. I don't know. Kind of hard to just, stereotype. Yeah, hey Kiko, just come out and make a bold statement about fruit roll-up haired women. Okay. I see guys with dyed hair too. You think it's just exclusive to one gender, my friend? Nah, I don't know. What do you want me to say? E.T. Man says, I only have the OST of Guitar Man because I'm terrible at it. There's a training mode in Guitar Man. I think there's a free play. You will be terrible. The first couple of times you play Guitar Man, you will suck. You will be sucked. The XXX and the YYY, you will be sucked. It is really tough to play at first, but practice makes perfect. And then you'll fall in love with it. Like it's one of those games that has a wall, right? I like games with like a really big, either a casual filter or a big wall to overcome, right? And it seems insurmountable. God damn, I got to tell you this story, by the way. There's a story that happened from when I was at a game store yesterday. It's going to make you guys cringe. But anyway, there's a game with a challenge wall, right? Guitar Man falls into that category, full stop. But once you get there and overcome it, and then you start unlocking just crazier and crazier music from all different genres, it just blows you away, and you just get hooked on it. You're like, okay, I got that far. Maybe I can do what is his name? Ben K. Ben K is probably the hardest level, aside from Gregorio III. But it's one of those games where you just want to prove it wrong. You spend all this time mastering it, and then you want to prove it wrong. And once you get there, it's a reward like nothing else. I recommend it to all my friends that love rhythm games. Is he in here? How many monkeys are in these pods? Feels like I'm getting closer to this monkey. Hey, Zach Porter, welcome to Gimme Them Badges. Post Vitas in chat. Thank you, Zach Porter. Welcome to the club, buddy. Oh, I gotta have that clip on hand. I don't have that clip on hand. There's gotta be a monkey nearby. Where am I missing this monkey? I see it's guiding me. It wants me to go over here. Is this where it's at? I thought I already got this monkey. Let's see here. Yeah, but if you look in the Hikikomori Cool Stream archive on the channel, I have, I think, at least two Guitar Man streams. One of them, I had to eat a crab. I had to eat a crab because I lost a level. So I ended up eating 3 freeze-dried crabs by the end. Where the hell are these monkeys? Are they over here? What's this rock all about? Nope, not up here. Hey, do I gotta bonk this rock? Nope. I got one more monkey, or did I already hit the monkey limit? No, I haven't hit the monkey limit. I got 2 more to find. I did try and watch a little bit of a Ape Escape speed run before I played this, just to kind of get an idea. And this dude was, once you get the slingshot, there's a way to break the game and do unlimited jumps. So I might try that out. Cameron, on a serious note, what happened in the last Tales from GameStop video? The one with all the GameStop stuff going on? It'd get a ton of views. What do you mean? I think all my GameStop videos are up there. I just tell my GameStop stories pretty much in my cool streams now because people ask me about it all the time. And one of my former managers from GameStop is a fan of my streams, and he shows up a lot. So it just reminds me that I do have a new GameStop story to tell you guys, too. I'll get to that in just a moment. I just want to find this monkey. I feel like I'm hot on the trail of it. Okay. All right. It's over here. Is it in the water? You can dive deeper by going, by clicking in the L3, but you can't use the monkey radar in the water, as far as I know. I bet the monkey is like somewhere in the water, so we'll take our time. Anyways, I got off my train of thought here. There's two things I want to tell you guys. I got a new GameStop story, and I got just a general games. Oh, here we are. I found the new spot. Okay, this is a good time to read some chat before I go into this level. Zach Porter, happy to be here. Thank you, Hikiko. Thank you very much for joining. I'm keeping up these streams as long as I can. There's been some interesting news as of lately. Good news. Mobile has really ruined Japanese game development scene a lot. I mean, yes and no. I think mobile is just the natural conclusion to a lot of the Japanese game scene. When I went over to Japan, it made sense. They are a very commuters city. Japan in general operates by trains, operates by mass transit, going from different sides of the island in hours times, like bullet trains. So people are always on the move. So that's why it like makes sense for stuff like the Nintendo Switch to do gangbusters and mobile phone games. Like it makes sense for their needs. But they still do play console games. Like Dragon Quest is still very popular. Very popular. There are other like games that are staples. Final Fantasy. I'm sure Nier does fine, but I think Nier, Yoko Taro said that Nier was like one of the best international releases. Like whenever they, I think they hit like 2.5 or 5 million, something like that. It's just interesting to like watch how things have changed over the years. And yes, the market is changing for Japan. And who knows what's going to happen after the pandemic, like the arcade scene, if that's still going to be around. There's a lot of speculation, but I wouldn't count them out yet. I wouldn't count them out. Maybe for Sony, but the Switch itself is kind of like the best middle ground they have at this moment. Like you can have that option of having the mobile experience or the console experience, and you're gonna see going forward more imitators like that, more Android based or NVIDIA Tegra core things. Like they're gonna see the success of the Switch and say, yeah, we're gonna want more of that. We're gonna want more of that. So I think if you're really interested in niche Japanese games, Switch is probably the best bet outside of the mobile market. Oh God. I know people really like the gimmicks of the analog sticks in Ape Escape, but I always have trouble wrapping my mind around the paddling. Like, yeah, you're supposed to go rotate, and spin hairpin turns. That catfish always used to scare me, by the way. Hey, J-Spot with the $5 super chat. Massive dono. Thank you very much, my friend. Stories from GameStop, uncensored. Oh, God. So, J-Spot was one of my managers over at GameStop. Still a friend many years later. I would say on the whole, I'm friends with a lot of my old managers from different places. It's usually me who quit, you know. It wasn't that I got fired from here or there, just I left on my own terms. Not necessarily with GameStop though. That's a different story. I'll tell that one day, maybe way later on. But I ended up at GameStop yesterday. Here's what happened. Little background building. You guys ready for this? First, before I tell the story, nothing's for free. Thank you, Super Chats. Thank you, badges. Thank you, members. Leave a like. Leaving a like's free. I appreciate that. All right, so I'll tell you why I was there. After I saw the state of play, I thought about doing a video related to Japan studios, or just in general, like just a brief overview of the games they developed and kind of their swan songs and games that I feel were underappreciated in general, that were ahead of their time, or whatever you want to say when it comes to that. But when I saw that state of play, I immediately wanted to go back and play the PlayStation 3. Tokyo Jungle came to mind, and I tried to boot up my PlayStation 3, and this is really depressing, but my PlayStation 3, I have a fat model, but it's the second generation fat model when they removed the PlayStation 2 chips from it. So that model, it can do software-based emulation for PS2 games, but not much else. It's really loud, and it draws a lot of power. I do have a fat model PlayStation 2 as well that's backwards compatible, but it yellow lighted of death, and because of that, I can no longer get my copy of Shadows of the Damned out of it. So that's depressing. Anyways, when I tried to connect, I wanted to see like all the exclusive games that were part of PlayStation Network, because I have my doubts of how much longer we have with the PlayStation Network on the PS3. I mean, look at PSP and all the backwards ass shit you have to do to get PSP games. So I wanted to go on there and take a look through my library, make sure I had everything downloaded, because I just have my doubts that Sony's going to do something or keep it around for years to come, because I've said it before. I said it in my PlayStation Classic video that Sony just doesn't care about their legacy. They could give two shits if their servers are down. Like right now, the PlayStation 3, my friend Waffles up on Discord, all the matchmaking services are down on PlayStation 3. I don't know what's going on with it. They've really... They really like delist things a lot and just don't give a shit. They don't reprint things on discs so you can have it. And really the only saving grace you have is modding your system. So anyway, I boot up my fat second generation model PS3, goes through a firmware update, and now it's stuck in a perpetual, they call firmware loop. Have you guys heard of the firmware loop? It's where the firmware updates to 99%, and then it reboots, and it never installs the firmware. And it constantly goes through that loop. And guys, there is one way to fix this. I've been through this. Like when I was making my Deadly Premonition video, I went through the firmware loop. You guys don't even understand how much fucking time that video took, by the way. But it went through the firmware loop. And here's how you fix the firmware loop. This is so much bullshit that it's going to make your head spin. Okay, you guys ready? Show me you're ready. Show me you're ready in chat by posting Vitas in chat. Post some Vitas in chat, and I will prepare you for this bullshit story. This is ungodly bad. All the steps you have to do. Oh no. Oh no. The tree's attacking now. Show me one Vita in chat and we can begin. One Vita in chat. We got swearies in chat. Justin, show me one Vita in chat. I'll tell you this bullshit story. Vita in chat. We got a Vita in chat. Thank you very much. Okay. So the firmware loop goes like this. You download the firmware, the official firmware, so you can connect to the Sony servers. The Sony servers allow you to get all your game saves from PS Plus, all your games that you own. It allows you to connect to the matchmaking servers. It allows you to purchase games on the PlayStation stores. Annually, they update the PlayStation 3's all models with the new firmware. And it's in a futile attempt to stop custom firmware. It's a futile attempt to stop piracy. The thing's hacked and back. Okay? You know who it punishes? It punishes people like me who keep a legitimate PlayStation with a legitimate account and all the hundreds of games that I've purchased over the years across PlayStation 1, PS2, PSP, all my digital games. So locks me out of all my digital games instantly because of this firmware loop. Goes to 99%, won't install the firmware, reboots the console, and it endlessly reboots the console until I get that fucking monkey, until you do one semi-dangerous thing. This is the only way you can fix this situation. On tomshardware.com, there is a solution to the firmware boot loop. You have to take your hard drive right after it finishes, like right after it gets to 99%, you remove the hard drive and then you jam it back in real quick, okay? And that will trigger a prompt if you hit this millisecond window. It's ridiculous. It'll trigger a prompt to load a firmware from a USB drive. You have to download firmware, the official firmware, onto a FAT32 drive from Sony's website. That's really hard to find. Put it on that USB drive, yank your hard drive out while the firmware's updating to trigger the prompt to install from USB. And you have like a 1 in, I want to say, 20 shot at this. It is insanity. I really, really hate Sony, okay? This is a guy who supported them throughout all the years, so don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Also, I see that I only have 26 likes, but I have 43 viewers. You give me that thumb. You leave a like. I gave you the better truth today. Every time. Get out of my face. I gave you the better truth. That doesn't come for free. I'm really sorry that I'm going on this tangent, but the amount of disrespect Sony has for their own legacy is palatable. It is disgusting. And to risk my hardware like that, to risk my PlayStation 3 fat that I've taken good care of. I don't smoke. I dust it. I clean it out. I installed most of my games to the hard drive, so I'm not running out the Blu-ray player. I'm doing everything, okay, to keep that PlayStation 3 alive. But I got sick of it. I got sick of the firmware boot loop. Every year, they release some stupid patch that doesn't even work. Sony, do you think you can stop the flow? The official flow? Do you think you can stop the flow? You can't stop the flow. Stop trying. Stop messing up PlayStation 3 fats with your firmware updates and throwing them through. I'm surprised there isn't a class action against them for this firmware boot loop. It's just like what Apple does, that planned obsolescence, as they call it. Planned obsolescence. It's just like that. So I got sick of it. Now we're going on to part 2. We're going on to part 2 of the story. Tell me when you're ready for it, because we're going to eventually get to GameStop. We're going to eventually. Tell me you're ready for it. Let me read some chat. Why as I kill these onion men. All right. PS3 dev wiki for official firmware. Yes, I'm aware. But most people, like the average user, isn't going to be aware of that. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to throw away their PS3s. That's right. I see 32 likes. We need more likes than that. 42 people in here. I'm going to need to see 40 likes. Give me 40 likes. Whip that algorithm in shape. Well, like they did with Astrobot Tech Demo, right? And they pretend they honor it. Yeah, the Astrobot game for the PS5. Oh, it has all these callbacks. It has all these callbacks to Sony Legacy. They really don't let them pull the wool over your eyes, okay? They really don't care. Jim Ryan said it himself, okay? Why would anyone want to play these old games? Why would they want to? These graphics suck, bro. That's what you get from the president of your company. It just mind-boggling. Yeah, they'll print T-shirts. They'll certainly print T-shirts for you to wear around. They won't make a new game of your favorite franchise. They won't do that. Oh my gosh. So get ready for part 2. Here we go. Max says, but my new Blu-ray video keys, Miles, they won't update by themselves. Jesus. All right, so this is what happened. State of Play happened. Little recap. State of Play happened. I was like nostalgic for the PS3. Turned on my PS3. Firmware boot loop. Also the DualShock 3s, by the way. The DualShock 3s batteries are failing big time. All those, and you need the DualShock 3s to play certain games. Like Folklore, you cannot play Folklore without a DualShock 3, an official one. An official one, okay? The DualShock 3, the battery sucks. The triggers on those also suck because every time you set it down on a table, it triggers either L2 or R2. Hate it. My DualShock 3, I have to keep it plugged in at all times to use it. And if you want a replacement of a DualShock 3, be prepared to sift through thousands and thousands of Chinese clones. Okay? That's what you get. If you want to buy an official OEM DualShock 3, you have to watch some video about being able to tell the fakes apart from the real ones. Like, you have to be an appraiser. You have to be a DualShock 3 level appraiser. Let me get my little monocle. Let me take a look at this logo. Let me... Ah, yes. Let's see here. DualShock 3. Does it have the official Sony logo? Does it have the official Sony logo right there on the media button, on the home button? Does it have the DualShock 3 and 6-axis running along the top? Okay. Does it have the official Sony label on there? Does the battery work? Does it not have analog drift? I mean... Do you know how many crappy, nasty controllers I've sifted through over the past year trying to get a solid DualShock 3 replacement? It's impossible. And as I said, it locks you out of certain games. Heavenly Sword, Folklore, Lair for a certain time, but they patched that. A lot of games out there that required it. So be prepared to give up that. Metal Gear 4, I believe, made a certain usage of the DualShock 3, 6-axis. So be prepared for that world of bullshit, shid with a D, if you're interested in picking up PS3 games. Another thing, got him. So I was like, okay, I'm sick of this PlayStation 3 fat. Time to replace it. Now I got a PlayStation 3 Slim. I already have there's like 3 models. I have actually there's like 4 or 5 depending on the number, but they all have different things. You guys know what I'm talking about. Fat, Slim, and Super Slim are the 3 main ones, right? So the Super Slim is the only one I don't have. And I was like, okay, no one in the world right now probably wants a Super Slim, right? It's going to be easy. Gonna be super easy to find a Super Slim. They're cheap. They're made out of the cheapest Chinese plastic. It's got a sliding tray, but it's small. Good form factor. But it should be easy to find. No. Oh my God. I guess it's the pandemic or something made people either nostalgic or want to scoop up all the PlayStations. Or maybe they just wanted a cheap Blu-ray player, but trying to find a Super Slim for under $130, impossible. And I don't want to pay $130 for a PlayStation 3. Okay, when I was picking them up for $50 just a couple of years ago, no one wants to pay that. So I went through every ad out there. I went through OfferUp. I went through eBay. I got flaked on 3 deals for a PlayStation 3 Super Slim. I had this crack whore in Ohio. There was a crack whore in Ohio that had this nasty profile, right? You could see like her hoarder's nest that she occupied in was cigarette butts and syringes and Red Bulls and piss bottles. Everything in her item photos. She was selling a PS3 Super Slim, nicotine stains for free included, up on OfferUp. And I engaged in this conversation with her because I'm like, all right, she's selling it for $50. This crack whore? Crack's not cheap. So I offered her $50. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna ship it out. Right? She messages me at 3 a.m. She's 1 time zone away, so it was like 4 a.m. for her. She hadn't slept for days. I was like, sweet, I'm gonna get a $50 PlayStation 3 Super Slim, Crack Whore Edition, nicotine stain, off-brand Mad Catz controller, missing some of the cables. I can deal with that. I can soak that in rubbing alcohol and strip it. It'll be a fun little project. Fun little project for the whole family. And so she messages me at 4 a.m. Yeah, I got this. We're going to have to renegotiate, though. We're going to have to renegotiate. Can't be $50 anymore. Can you do 80? And I'm sitting here like, am I really going to be haggled by this lady? I'm like, you posted it for 50. I'm like, are you sure you can't meet me in the middle? Maybe 60, 65. Can we do 65? She's like, yeah, I really need this money and stuff. I'll throw in a box. I'll throw in some games. Here's the list of games she was trying to throw at me. Ghost Recon, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, Call of Duty Black Ops Missing the Case. Of course it is. NCAA 13. That's what a value. What a value for this Crackho Edition PS3 Super Slim, missing the cables, and 3 random loose games. So glad you could haggle with me. So I felt patronized, but I was like, you know what? $80 isn't the worst deal for PS3 Super Slim. I really want one. No one in town selling them. Believe me, it wasn't for a lack of trying. I tried everywhere for one of these Super Slims. GameStops. I called up GameStop. They said it is now considered a legacy console. PS3s are no longer being sold in stores. I can't go there. All my retro game shops close due to COVID. Can't go there anymore. I have to go online. Those are my only choices. eBay's, everyone, when they sell their PS3s, they're going for at least $130 because they want to sell all the games with it. They want to bundle it up. And that's $130 like at auction, okay? So it may go up. So I placed some bids on it. They outbid me. They went up to 150. Some of them went up to 200s in the auctions, and I'm like, no way am I paying $200 for a PS3 Super Slim. Just not going to happen. So this Crackho is the best deal that I got going on here. And of course, there's going to have to be some legwork, and then on my end, I got to clean it up, gotta soak it, maybe put it in a plastic bag in my garage for a week to kill all the bed bugs in it. I gotta put some work into it, but I'm willing to go $80. So I'm negotiating with this Crackho from Ohio. at 4 a.m. in my bed, and I think I secured it. And I go to sleep, wake back up, and she canceled the deal. I gave her, like, I negotiated up to $80, and she canceled the deal on me. So, yeah, as I said, I went through about 5 deals before I finally landed on a PlayStation 3 for $90 with the box, with the controller, and the cables, okay? That's a pretty solid deal because even the controllers, finding an OEM PlayStation controller is like an impossible task nowadays. It really is more difficult than it should be. So I was willing to part with that. So ridiculous. But my journey did not stop there. Okay. Being ghosted by a crack whore at 4 a.m. I mean, that in itself. So it's being shipped out now. I will be getting a new PlayStation 3 Super Slim, and I can go back to either streaming some PS3 games and reviewing them and downloading my collection because right now, heed my words. If you've got any purchases on your PlayStation 3, now's the time to upgrade your hard drive and back up as much shit as possible. Back it up. If you haven't already soft modded it, like I care about trophies somewhat. I want to be able to have my cloud saves and my trophies. So I'm not modding this one. It's not going to be modded. So if you care about your digital purchases, download them now. You upgrade that hard drive, get a 2 terabyte in there, download all your games because the end is nigh. Hitagi says 80 isn't bad, even with her crack juices. The crack juices. Ugh. Yeah. Speaking of crack juices, we're about to crack the kombucha of the stream. We're getting to that point in the stream. Today's kombucha is my favorite, the ginger one. I needed the one with turmeric, but I'll take the ginger one. I like the spice. Nice hiss. Bubbly. My girlfriend doesn't know how I can drink that. She's like, you're just drinking pickle juice. Bubbly pickle juice. It's good. I enjoy it. I'm already pickled on the inside, okay? I'm a sourpuss. I've been called a sourpuss before for my stances on Sony. No, I'm a jilted ex-lover is what I am. That's what I would call myself. Impeach Jim Ryan. He's got to go for sure. We need some Japanese people at the wheel, okay? We certainly do. Under Japanese leadership, Sony was at their golden. The PlayStation 2 was under Japanese leadership, okay? Think about that. Most successful console of all time, okay? Monolith. People don't realize this. One of the longest lifespans out of all the consoles under Japanese leadership. Get the Japanese back at the wheel. Thank you. Kavita, the irony, says Dandelion. Yes. It was not lost on me. Max says, download the list on the PS3 now. Lost all pictograms for items. Checked on Saturday. Yeah, imagine this, by the way. Imagine you were one of those guys like my friend. I actually had a friend who invested a lot of money in building his PlayStation Home. Do you guys remember PlayStation Home for the PS3? Decking out your PlayStation Home digital apartment and never being able to access that ever again. I think there may be some fan servers being worked on for that. They got to do something. PlayStation Home was awesome, by the way. PlayStation Home was like one of those things you would do at 3 a.m. You'd be hanging out with your homies and stuff like that, and just for shits and giggles, you'd throw on PlayStation Home, and you check in on like all the weird content. PlayStation Home had so much strength. It was like Second Life. It had the same vibes as Second Life, and they'd show off trailers, and there'd be like digital bowling alley where Pyramid Head was bowling with Heather from Silent Hill 3. I mean, it sounds like I'm making this up, but it was a real thing. PlayStation Home was wonderful and strange. There's some footage of it up on YouTube. You can go check out. But golly, it feels like a fever dream. There was also a neat little folding at home program that they did for cancer research. My friend Rai, while he was at work, you could lend some of your PS3's processing power and do all these calculations for cancer research groups and report that data back to them through the folding at home program for the PS3. And that was like one of the selling points. Like the PS3 is helping cure cancer. Right now, I think the best thing that the PS5 can do is somebody has found out a way to mine Ethereum with PS5s. They found out how to mine Ethereum with PS5. So that should tell you about the state. It's no longer about curing cancer. It's about mining crypto. Yeah, a total far cry. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. My friend Waffles up on Discord, shout out, showed me this pretty cool stand you can get for your PS3 Super Slim. And I'm just a fan of small consoles. Anything like the PS2 has a really beautiful stand with a beautiful purple-blue gradient. I showed it off in my video, my PlayStation 2 Classic video. You can see it on there. But yeah, it's got a very beautiful gradient on there, and I'm just a fan of small form factor consoles. That's why I like the Series X. Like I'm playing it right now. I'm laying it on its side. It takes up zero space. It is such a beautiful console, and it's very powerful. If I had a Series S, I'd probably be satisfied with it as well, just because the form factor is so small. They respect my space. Okay. And the PS3 Super Slim, just such a beautiful console. Even though it's kind of made out of cheap plastic, I looked online at all the limited edition ones, and there's a Yakuza one. They released a Yakuza one with all the clan symbols on there. I wanted to get it, but it was like $350. So I didn't want to wait a month and then pay $350 just to have something cool. I'd much rather just get the Super Slim and add my own skin to it or paint it myself. I'm sure I could paint it myself. Brandon says this is my favorite PS1 game. Yeah, it's a beautiful game. I forgot. My brother really enjoys Ape Escape as well. We own all the PlayStation 2 ones. I own the PSP ones. The only one I don't own is Ape Escape on the Move for the PS3 and the Move. It was released in Europe and Japan physically and digital only over here in the States. So if you're interested in the last Ape Escape game, which was a PlayStation Move gimmick game, I'm sure it's fine. The trailer reminded me a lot of Elebits. But if you're interested in the last Ape Escape game, you have to get it digitally over here, which fucking sucks. I hate having to reiterate that point, but Sony just had no faith in their best studio. No faith in it. And I'm gonna try and hunt me down a copy of the physical copy. I got a physical copy of Tokyo Jungle, and it's hidden. Like, you would never suspect this, but to get Tokyo Jungle here in the United States physically, you have to get the Best of PlayStation Network Volume 1. Volume 1 and only. It's the only copy that they ever released. Such a sad state. But it comes with Fat Princess and a couple other games too. But yeah, the Best of PlayStation Network, if you want a physical copy of Tokyo Jungle in the States. There's also a Japanese copy too. But if you want the English North American copy, such a shame. But the other stream I did, the Vita stream, more recently. Look at PlayStation. I said this before. I'll say it again. Look at PlayStation Network All Stars Battle Royale. Battle Royale. I should clarify. Look at that roster. Okay, I went through that whole roster on stream. Look at how many dead franchises are in Sony's first party. I mean, even Dead Space can fall in there. Dead Space a third party, but Dead Space is dead. BioShock is dead. Gravity Rush is dead. Uncharted may be dead. I'm not sure. They'll probably make some spin-off or what have you without Nathan Drake. Fat Princess is dead. Ape Escape. Jack and Daxter. Even though that's more of a Western team. But like all the Japanese franchises that are on PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale are dead. Are dead franchises. I would say the PS4 was the swan song of Japan Studio. And if you want to remember the good times, get yourself a PS3, get yourself a Vita, mod them because there's no way to support them. Sony doesn't want you to support them anyway. Mod them and play them. Or get a Series X like your pal Hikiko here and play Ape Escape for 50 people. You could also do that. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. 35 likes, not good enough. Give me them likes. Get me at save me. Save me from all this coping. Rest in peace, Sly Cooper. Rest in peace, Sly Cooper. Sly's dead, man. Sly was supposed to have a movie, too. Sly's way dead. Yeah, I posted up on my Twitter, like, the games you should be looking out for. So if you are interested in getting a PS3, get all your... I guess you can only get them whenever their lights are the eyes... Anyway, if you're interested at all in getting a PS3, get all those HD collections. Basically, every HD collection except the Silent Hill one. You can't go wrong up on the PS3. I think I'm supposed to go left, right, left. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's my recommendation to you. Get those. They are going to go up in price. All that shit's going up in price. People are waking up to it. So I went into GameStop the other day to go back on this point. I was looking for PS3 games. They had them. They had like 3 or 4 in the box, and then they had maybe 20 loose discs. They are clearing out, if they haven't already, all the PS3 games. They're done. There's going to be no PS3 games in GameStops. Walk in. If you walk into any of your GameStops right now, it's already depressing. It's one of the saddest game stores I've ever seen. Even current gen titles, they maybe had 30, 40 PlayStation 4 games there for sale. Okay? There for sale. They have a new system that they're trying out, a brand new system where instead of having used games out on the shelves, they put a new sticker and a used sticker for the same title on a crappy printed out box, okay? Crappy dot matrix, shitty printer. It's got a new sticker price and a used sticker price. It's usually $5. It's usually a $5 difference. So when you go into GameStop, you can't even look at what you're about to buy. You can't see the condition of the case, whether or not it comes with instructions. Pathetic. And now there's like no PS3 games, no 360 games, Wii, DS, 3DS. And the current gen games, you can't even see if they have the real box or not. You have to go take this shitty printed out thing that they put, a display box, and then go take it to the manager while they shovel through drawers or go in the back and bring it out to you if you're lucky. If you're lucky, they'll do that for you. I can't even believe it. It's not even a real game store anymore, okay? I don't even know what to call it because 65% of the store is now merchandise, like t-shirts and knickknacks and Funko Pops and board games. It's ridiculous. So, like, don't go to game. Just don't. How about that? That's my recommendation. Just don't. Don't go. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it like I did. But yeah, I went in there yesterday, and there's the first time I walked out of GameStop, and I said, there is nothing in here for me. There is nothing. I never need to step foot in this place again. I go there thinking it's going to be different. I let myself down every time. I let myself down every time. All right, let me read some stuff here. Proud GameStop holder here. I like the stock. Good for you. Keep holding. Hold and hold and hold. I have my doubts. Captain Ron says, here in Canada, they've taken out the PS3 stuff. The PS4 section is dismal. PS5 is like non-existent. Yeah, the PS5, all I saw when I was there for PS5, they had like Immortal Phoenix Rising, and Demon Souls, and Spider-Man. Those were the 3 games I saw. I saw nothing else. Oh boy, can't wait. I feel bad for the children because imagine you're a kid like, yeah, all right, I kind of like this. Sure, Mom, yeah, I'm kind of excited for Immortal Phoenix Rising. Yeah, I guess maybe Spider-Man. Don't you have that on PS4? Yeah. What's the difference? Graphics. It's hard. It's hard for me to even listen anyone try to make the case for the PlayStation 5 for me. And people have tried. People have tried to make the case. Well, it's got an SSD and an HDR. I was like, dude, you can't even tell. You really can't tell high dynamic range. You don't know what you're looking at. You were blind. Like, there's no graphical, no giant leap, okay? That justifies the price. That justifies all the BS you have to go through to even get a PS5. No thanks. And then have Sony have complete lock and key over your experience. I mean, can you even play Ape Escape on your PS5? Until you can, I'm not going to entertain that argument anymore. I'm sorry, I'm not going to excuse it anymore. There's no reason for anyone to get it. Unless you just missed out on the PS4. That would be my only reason for getting it. If you missed out on the PS4 and you didn't play any PS4 games and you want to play them backwards compatibility, yeah, get it for the PS4 games because you'll have a good time there. But no, Demon Souls is not enough for me. Not a single thing in that state of play made me enthusiastic. It actually had the opposite effect on me for the future of video games, at least with Sony. There's this cliff I gotta drop off to get this monkey, but I'm trying to remember which cliff it was. Was it this one? I gotta go in first person mode to figure out where it was. The camera is a bit of a bear. Or was it above me? You gotta get all these hidden monkeys, man. Do you even know how to play this? Okay, my radar is going off over here. Yeah, the only game on PS5 I care about is Final Fantasy 16. That's gonna be on everything, my friends. There is no reason why Square Enix would ever keep that locked down. There's no reason. Like, can you guys think of a reason why they would go with exclusivity when it comes to Sony, and like it just won't happen. Just won't happen. April 1st, come back to me and tell me what you see when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Remake. The moment that exclusivity's up, the floodgates are open. It's fair game. All right, let's try this again. I could have done better. Generally, Demon Souls Remake is cheap. What I know, like I haven't played it myself, so full disclosure, I haven't played Demon Souls Remake myself. I saw a friend of mine stream it. Okay, so I saw him stream it. I got the general gist that he was kind of disappointed by some of the graphical changes and character model changes and stuff like that. For the most part, it seemed all right. It seemed like I would enjoy it. I don't like to split hairs too much when it comes to remakes. I kind of come to the understanding that when you're a new team and you're working on somebody else's vision, you may gloss over a few things or you may miss a few things. That's fine. But from what I can tell, the general consensus from hardcore Demon Souls fans, I would consider myself a pretty big Demon Souls fan. They just weren't happy with the changes made. So, I mean, you can't please everyone in that regard, but if you can't even hit your core demographic, you got some problems. So, I don't know. Beyond that, I heard it didn't sell as well as they expected to, so that doesn't give me too much hope for, I don't know, a Dark Souls remaster or a Bloodborne update. Like, why are they dragging their feet on a Bloodborne 60 frames patch? I'll never know. That seems like a no-brainer. I mean, if I heard Bloodborne got a 60 frames patch, that would push me a little bit over the edge to getting a PlayStation 5, just for that alone. So I hope that comes out soon at least. But the producers on Bloodborne, they've flown the coop. They're out. So I don't expect a Bloodborne 2. Maybe Elden Ring will be good. I know the trailer leaked. I haven't watched it yet, but who knows when that's coming out. I mean, for PS5, everything exists in speculation, like a bubble of speculation. That's the PS5, the PlayStation experience is maybe it might be good one day. Okay. So, I'll hard pass right now. Just a hard pass. Let's see here. I don't want to buy a new game console to play an HD texture pack of a 13-year-old game or to play as Virgil in Devil May Cry 5. I mean, that's on everything now. It's not just exclusive to the PS5. I platinum Demon Souls on PS3. I already played the game, so the remake didn't appeal to me. I've played the game 3 times. 3 times I've played Demon Souls, and I'm kind of in the same camp. I'd much rather them take a new chance on something. I mean, Sekiro. I could probably play Sekiro. I haven't played that yet. But I sat back the other day, and I was looking through my PlayStation 4 library. I'm like, man, this was really good. And there's still a lot of life left in this library here. So, I still don't have a major reason to upgrade yet. While crawling, you can pretend... Oops. They want me to push in both sticks? Okay. We'll crawl my way up here. We'll see what happens. Nope. If I push in both sticks, it queues up my my emulator menu here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this monkey. I'd have to reconfigure my emulator. We'll try and crawl. I think I'm gonna have to reconfigure my emulator because my hotkey is L3 and R3. We'll do that in just a second here. And I got those 2 flame guys. Get down. Get down. We'll skip that monkey for now. Maybe I can get another one. I think the speedrunner also came from up top. Like, it is possible to ambush this one. Jim Ryan's comment regarding the Japanese downsizing is super vague. Confirmed Japanese support can mean a lot of things. That's what people were trying to convince me. They were trying to argue against me, saying that, oh, this doesn't mean anything. Just because they're rolling them into the Astrobot team means that more Japanese games are on the way. They're around. They're just recentering. People split hairs over terminology, but they wouldn't have to use the word recentering unless they were doing something really shady in the first place, okay? And that's what's going down. They just don't want to come out and piss off their investors by saying, "Oh, we're shuttering one of the most beloved studios. We're just going to shutter it." Investors don't like words like shuttering or closing, okay? We're just recentering it. That's doublespeak, my friends. I've been around the gaming industry long enough to know when I'm being fed a load of bullshit with a D. Okay? I think that's my strategy since my hotkeys are L3 and R3. Is anyone excited for Stubbs' Zombie remake? Or it's not a remake. I think it's like just an HD port. It looks very low effort. I will say that. It's got 0 new features that I'm aware of. It does have the original soundtrack, so it scores points there. So I'm all right with it. I'm happy it's getting another chance, but this may be just a cynical cash grab and not anything that points to a potential sequel. Sorry to say. But it's good that more people will be able to experience it, so I'm happy there. That's always a good thing. Hey, 2Tim505, thank you so much for the super chat. $2 says, do you think PlayStation All-Stars 2 could work? I think it could work in the right hands. Do I think it's happening? No. I think Sony's too ashamed of themselves. Too ashamed. Like, imagine if Sony had to come out and make another PlayStation All-Stars game. And then, like, all this interest, or all these kids that would play that game, a new All-Stars Battle Royale, right? A whole new generation of kids discovering all these characters that have no current games. Who would you go with? I guess you would have to put Astrobot in there. Astrobot would be like one of the only people and Sackboy. Astrobot versus Sackboy would be the game. Sad to say. Sad state. So if you want Astrobot versus Sackboy, that's what you would get in the roster. I think they fired most of the team, too. The studio that created that was shuttered just afterwards. And they shut down the servers a couple years after the game's launch. I know, I played it like during the end. So yeah, that it's fucking sad. Once further, it's sad, but it's probably not going to happen, unfortunately. Thank you for the super chat, too, Tim. I want it to happen, though. I thought that franchise had a lot of potential, but they made some boneheaded decisions with the fighting. They made it where you had to get a super to win. Okay. There wasn't like a focus on ring outs. There wasn't a focus on, like the stages would come to life and the stages would attack you, but the penalties weren't super steep and the skill barrier wasn't as deep as Smash Brothers can be. So I don't know. I like it. I played it. I enjoyed the mashup stages, but I just don't see them coming through with a new one. It just wouldn't work. Yeah, Cameron, you can't get the platinum trophy for that, I believe, because the servers are down. That's another thing. Sony and their bizarre way of canceling things. Oh yeah, that's the unlimited jump. I saw some guy do that, like wherever. Is it jump? Jump, cancel, jump? I don't know how to do it myself. So it goes jump, dude. There it is. I did it once, but I know some pros that can do that unlimited jump. I cannot. So I will not try and fool anyone here. Oh, the slingshot aiming is pretty bad, but serviceable for its time. Glaveson says, I mean nothing ultra niche is really on consoles anymore. If you're into looking for super niche like games you'd only know about, then Steam is more of the place. Yeah, I mean direct to developer, developer direct is probably how you're going to play a lot of the new classics. But the thing is, the average person is not going to have that level of exposure that they would when first-party games or first parties like Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft back when they were churning out original IP. The benefit of having consoles and being first party and being somewhat niche through first party is the exposure was much higher and the chance of discovery was much higher. Store shelf presence is highly underrated. Okay, having some mom who goes in trying to look for a game for their kid for Christmas, like my mom did, or find something weird at a garage sale, by having a physical copy is invaluable. Having a kid go into a store and seeing a mascot, seeing like little Sly Cooper there, or seeing Sackboy, or not Sackboy, he's too mainstream. Or seeing something like Parappa on the shelves and picking it up and like, oh, look at this cute dog. And taking that home. Or Ape Escape. And taking that home. That kind of experience ain't going to happen that much anymore. Okay? And that's because like first party, you're kind of a bigger fish in a smaller pond, or at least on Steam, you're just in a school of desperately hungry fish, okay? And you're trying to make your game in a way that it's going to get exposure, and some people, their method of doing that is by cheapening the experience or debasing their game, watering it down to be more streamer bait. Do you know what I'm talking about? A lot of the games that are prominent nowadays on Steam have some sort of streamer bait potential to find success. Okay? Ironic, crappy, raise a baby simulator, and then you just throw a baby in an oven or something like that, or put them in a blender. Like stuff that's very morbid and disgusting are kind of what rises to the top. Just like really bad simulators, jump scare games. Very, very hard to stand out on Steam. But when you're a smaller developer and you got a really unique concept and you partner with one of the big studios like Sony, there's a chance they may include you on a direct or feature you on the store page. Back in the day, I mean, Sony and Nintendo especially used to have higher standards on what would appear on their digital marketplace. Nowadays, you can find any old shovelware on the Nintendo Switch eShop and what have you, but it didn't used to be like that. There used to be more of a curating process, if you will. And that it seems like as time has gone along, the curation comes from, I guess, people like me, people who make retrospectives and reviews and video content. Like maybe there's a chance somebody might find an old classic or a new favorite because like a content creator recommended it for them, or they saw it on a stream. Like that's kind of the new place for exposure, because the companies themselves aren't really curating their content. I mean, if you look at Sony's Direct, how much of that was first party? One game, maybe? I think I had counted. There was one first party exclusive. Exclusives are dying. The concept of exclusive is foreign, and people are like, well, that's probably for the better. I mean, there's some pluses and minuses to removing the barrier to exclusivity. Removing the barrier to exclusivity means that more people have a chance to play it, but it also doesn't necessarily have a better chance of standing out or being featured and all that. And I just can't, it's harder and harder to justify. I think the Switch out of the big three is the only unique console out of the bunch that really offers something you can't get anywhere else. And I'm not even the world's biggest Nintendo fan. I think they also have really bad practices, which I've been on the record stating time and time again. But, I mean, out of the big three, Switch is where you're going to find the most unique content and the most unique hardware. The one with a lot of versatility, if you will. Sony is probably the most restrictive out of all the hardware. Sony doesn't like you to do cross-network play when it comes to multiplayer. Sony doesn't like to have you transfer your saves over across generation. Some games will, some games won't. They want to charge you for upgrades. They want to milk you for every last dime. They don't want you to have control over your hardware. They don't want you installing stuff like retrospective, RetroArch like I'm playing here right now. Microsoft didn't give a shit. So here I am playing Ape Escape. Here I am playing Ape Escape on my Series X. And it's going well. I haven't had too many issues. Imagine if Sony gave one iota of a fuck about their legacy. Imagine if they had said, you know what? Sorry, we messed up with this whole PlayStation Now failure. We messed up with PlayStation Now. We're going to make our own virtual console, okay? Spanning as many generations as possible, PlayStation 1 through 4. Sorry, we can't... Even if they gave you a half-hearted excuse, like, sorry, some PS3 games just won't make it over hardware limitations, I'd forgive them. I would forgive them in a heartbeat. Like, sorry, we can't put Layer on this thing. We can't put Folklore on this thing, but we can put Disgaea 3. Here's Disgaea 3. Here's Heavenly Sword. Here's, like, they could do it. What is it? RCP PCX 3? The PS3 emulator gets better every month, right? People with no funding are making magic happen. I feel that just Sony just takes their audience for granted. They take their legacy for granted. And I don't know. I see more people day by day becoming disenfranchised by the Sony lie. The Sony lie. The PlayStation lie. And I hope, as I said, you like what you like. If you enjoy your PS5 and it does something for you good, I'm glad you were able to find something to enjoy on it. But I know the fun, the parade's over. The carnival's over. Jack 1011 says, this is the last gen for Xbox, though. After that, it's streaming. I disagree. I disagree wholly. Microsoft, they've gotten a taste for making hardware more accessible, okay? Their software is already more accessible. They want to get more people to the software. So you're going to see more user-friendly builds, kind of like what Steam wanted to do. The Series S is pretty much proof of that. Now, it may not be fully, like there will be a streaming component for sure, but they're also going to have the hardware option too. They're going to have stuff like the Series S, lower end machines, higher end machines. Microsoft, I would say Microsoft has more money than Nintendo and Sony, probably not combined, but Microsoft's, think about a never-ending bottomless pit of money. That's Microsoft. They can weather the storm a long time. Nintendo can too, but I would say Microsoft, they're going to be in the game and make more user-friendly hardware. I would love it if Microsoft went into the portable scene, for sure. Microsoft has prime opportunity to make something portable friendly at the very least. Like even if they made dedicated hardware to stream Xbox Game Pass experiences. I'll tell you now though, when I did my Xbox Series X video, I streamed Yakuza Like a Dragon to my phone, and it worked perfectly with like zero lag. I was really impressed by that. But no, I think Microsoft's in the hardware business for much longer. Sony, I have my doubts. I don't know. The PS5 is doing okay in America. I'm not sure about the world stage, but it's doing fine in America. But I don't know anyone outside of like a select few people that have one because they're streamers and they probably paid some insane scalper money just for their job. So the only people that I know that have a PS5 are streamers, really. That's the sad truth. I don't have one. We'll try this again. Where are we at? We're about almost 2 hours in the stream. It's been a good stream. 50 viewers. That's really good. Thank you guys for showing up. Luxaz says, I'm a PlayStation fan and I really can't get behind what they're doing now. I agree with you, buddy. I totally agree with you. I'm right there with you. Sony's always been near to my heart, and I always bet on them. Even when they were at their darkest moment, I would say the darkest days for Sony was the launch of the PS3, the whole $599 US. The whole that in itself was my first taste of Sony greed, if you will, or cockiness, whatever you want to call it. That was my first taste of it, like how tone deaf they were. $599 US. That was one of the biggest memes back in the day. Giant enemy crab. Attack its weak point for massive damage. So bizarre. My friend Jason, though, the first time I ever played PS3 was because my friend Jason, the mad lad, saved up his money. Saved it up so me and my friend Mark could hang out at his house and play some PS3 with him. So I definitely won't forget the first time I played PS3 over at his house. I thought it was cool, but like as the generation went on, like I got a second generation whenever they came down in price. I think I got my PS4 back when it was like $350. I waited a long time. I got it with Metal Gear and Little Big Planet. Oh, my friend Rai Rai also got it. He got that like gunmetal gray PS4, the Metal Gear one. So yeah, I remember how excited I was, but looking back on the PS3, it was so bottlenecked. A lot of the games, a lot of the third-party games were worse, unfortunately. Because of no anti-aliasing, no VSync. So, like the games would screen tear, they'd be missing textures, they'd be missing color. For the most part, the PS3 copies of third-party games were often just the worst versions. I had a friend the other day was like, man, the PS3, if you bought a PS3 game during that generation, it was like getting a video game on the lowest PC settings. You guys ever watch those on YouTube, like where somebody deliberately turns down all the PC settings to low? That's what it was like buying a PS3 game. I mean, like, really up until Naughty Dog did The Last of Us and harnessed the power of the cell for Uncharted, really until they came out, PS3 games just looked worse on the whole. And I always bought them. I bought them for the trophies, I bought them for dumb reasons. But they really were ugly. I think if you watch reviews on my channel where there's a cross-generational game, like Shadows of the Damned or Lollipop Chainsaw, they were always the worst versions. Unless by some slim chance there was a Wii version, but the Wii version would always have a cool gimmick to it of some kind. They'd try and compensate for no power. So at least it had that going for it, but yeah. Sad state of affairs. And it's really debatable nowadays which console's more powerful. They're pretty much the same shades of each other. I would say the Series X and the Series X and the PS5 are very, very similar. The only difference being a controller gimmick. The controller gimmick, the haptic feedback on the thumbsticks. So, yeah, if you want that, sure. Me, I don't really care. I enjoyed the PS3 back before it had vibration. I didn't really care. Like the Nintendo Switch tried to advertise HD Rumble. HD Rumble's probably one of the biggest lies of all time. It is, the Joy-Cons have the weakest amount of rumble I've ever felt. Okay, the Nintendo 64 and Star Fox with the Rumble Pack, that shit was, that would shake your hands. Okay, the HD Rumble is an embarrassment. If you want good Rumble, I think you got to get the Pro Controller on the Switch, which I do, but even that's pretty weak sauce. The DualShock 2 on the PS2 had really good rumble. I remember because Metal Gear had a vibration test in there. They also had that Res game with the vibration controller. You guys know what I'm talking about? Fucking those mad dudes over in the creator of Res made this like Res, I think it's called the Real Sense or something, the Real Vibe, where you put it between your legs and play Res. You're not going to see shit like that anymore. True innovations in gaming. Oh my god, my chat's blowing up here. Luxaz says people should give the PS3 in the 7th gen another go. Yeah, I really wish. Hold on, let me get a sip here. Sip of the kombucha. I see we have 53 people in here. You good for nothings? You better leave that like. I better end this stream with at least 50 likes. 50 likes on this stream. Here's my deal about the PS3. I'm very excited to get that Super Slim. The tray thing just seemed cool to me. It's a gimmick, I know. There was only a few color variants of the PS3 Slim, but I'm willing to tolerate it. I like systems that are quiet. Like my microphone right now is less than a foot away from my Series X. You haven't heard the fan one time. It's quiet as a mouse. I'm excited for the Super Slim because my PS3 and my PS4 both collectively sound like jets taking off every time I play them. I dust them. I've taken them apart. I've done them the official way. I've cleaned out all the vents. Reflow them. I don't want to reflow them. Okay, I don't want to add new thermal paste either. They're getting old and they're loud, and it gets to me, like hearing that fan noise. So the Super Slim, I am excited for the elimination of fan noise. I'm excited to get something that draws less power and something that has a bit more RAM, believe it or not. I think starting since the first model of PlayStation Slims, doubled the RAM, I believe. So like if you're ever using the web browser, it loads pages faster. When you're loading the PlayStation Store, it loads faster because trust me, the PlayStation Store is the absolute most trash experience. It takes minutes for game pages and searches to complete over there on the freaking PlayStation 3 store. It's embarrassing. So yeah, it's unfortunate. That's the only major, I guess, modification that the PlayStation 3's ever underwent, is it has a bit more RAM on the Slim line. And I just wish, I swear to God, I would pay $500 today. $500 today. I'm going to lose this race. I'd pay $500 today. I'm deliberately losing. I'm taking the L on this one. $500 today I would pay if Sony made like a PlayStation 1 through 4. Like not even 5, but like a PlayStation legacy system. 1 through 4. Put it all in one. Make the RAM like double up, have backwards compatibility features, like have VSync on, upscale it up to at least 1080p. I don't even care about 4K. 60 frames when possible. Just all in one. Even if they went all digital. And said, we're just going to release this. It's going to be an all-in-one machine. Here you go. I would be fine with that. But, or at least just an upgrade, like a souped-up PS3. Souped-up PS3, I would be totally on board with that. But they just won't do that. I'm hoping that somebody out there who's into hardware mods figures out how to upgrade. They probably won't be able to upgrade the cell processor, but the GPU and the RAM on the PS3. If that was possible, if they can make it have the Emotion engine, like one of those old launch boards, and make it the best possible way to play those games, I would do it. But I feel our only salvation is emulation. The only salvation, my flock, my little sheep, is through emulation. Because Sony's not going to do it themselves. Caption Panic 98, what do you think of Dreamcast sounds? You mean the opening UI, Caption? I like the sound of the Dreamcast when it boots. The BIOS, I like the Dreamcast sound. I like Dreamcast sounds. I will come out on the record saying I love the Dreamcast. Not a controversial take to have, I'm sure. Sony patented a backwards compatible remastering engine. I think it was basically for select retro digital titles, though. Yeah, I mean, if they'd come out there and make a team dedicated to, if Sony came out there and said, hey, we're going to firmware update our PlayStation 5s and start releasing more of our back catalog, I would give them kudos. I would definitely give them kudos for even doing that much. But that's a lot to expect from them nowadays. I don't want to give my hopes up, and I'm not going to speculate any further about Sony because they only let you down. They'll only let you down in the end. And then you have to listen to all the Sony coat posters on Reddit and Twitter trying to defend this horrible state of things. God damn, dude. Did I ever tell you guys about how when I released that PlayStation 2 Classic video, how somebody spent paragraphs trying to argue, saying like, nobody wants these old games anyway. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal that the PS5 has like none of their classic IPs on there. It's like, you're the only one who wants that. And then I explain in my video like why the PS4 backwards compatibility, the PlayStation 2 Classics failed. They just buried it in the back of the store. I guarantee you ask anyone, like any normal person who's like not up to snuff on video game culture, if they knew that the PlayStation 4 had PlayStation 2 Classics. Chances are they'll probably say, what? And if they did know, they probably would only be able to tell you that Grand Theft Auto was on there. Like, oh yeah, I played San Andreas. Yeah, I remember playing San Andreas or Vice City on there. Just ask them if they know what Dark Cloud is. Have you heard of Dark Cloud? No? Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you for your time. What a wasted franchise, man. Rogue Galaxy even people talk up Dark Cloud. I would say Rogue Galaxy had the most potential to be a smash hit. Games like Rogue Galaxy, that same kind of gameplay where mission-based, destroy X amount of enemies, craft this item, get new weapons, get new armor that look different on your characters, bug fighting. That would be a hit. Smash hit if they ever went somewhere like that, but you know what happened. Most people don't even know, GG says, most people don't even know that all PS3s play PS1 disc. That in itself is another crime. All PS3s. Yeah, they could have also, they were working, by the way, on a PSP emulator as well. The PlayStation 3s were going to, I mean, there's an unofficial emulator on there now, but they were working on an official emulator for the PS3. On the PS4, there is a PSP emulator, an officially developed one for Parappa the Rapper, Loco Roco, and Patapon. They all run off of a officially in-house developed PSP emulator that was capable of upscaling. Just dumb Sony. Dumb Sony. They have it. It's done. Same thing with PS1 emulator. I told them. Hikiko told them. They just didn't want to listen. That's something I would encourage. Just ask Sony why. Ask them why. Ask them why they have a PlayStation 1 and 2 emulator on the PS4 and PSP emulator on the PS4, but never release titles for it. Why did they just never release titles for it? I can't imagine it's a licensing issue for in-house first-party games. Properties that they own, that they developed. Can't imagine that's the reason. I don't know. It makes me sad to hear that. Let's see. Sony is just going to release some PS4 games on PC. PS1 through PS3 means nothing to Sony. I mean, my biggest takeaway, if you can learn anything from me, if you like physical games, get yourself a PS3, look into getting PS3s, and either praying to God that you get a launch model PS3 that stands the test of time, like one of the good batches out there, and you can play all your games officially, or at the very least, get a PS3 Slim and mod it. You'll be able to play the entire Metal Gear collection. You'll be able to play all the PS3 exclusives that will never be re-released by Sony in official capacity. You'll be able to have your digital library and all in one spot, and remember the good times. And PS4 modding is going to get easier too, so don't turn your nose up at that. PS4 modding, It's getting better and better. I've been following the scene. Later and later firmwares are being added to the exploit, so they won't be as hard to find. So I'm hoping that as PS5 goes along, there will be cooler mods. And with RetroArch, because I do have RetroArch on my PS4, it's not as good as the Series X one, but it's pretty good. I'm hoping that at the very least, up to PS2 is pretty good right now, but I'm hoping to see at least some PS3 attempts later on. It'd be nice to have kind of a somewhat all-in-one system. And if PS3 emulation ever does make it to PS4 or Series X, mind you, I will make a video on it. I've been following that scene for a while. So, but yeah, emulation is your salvation. That's what I'll say. Emulation is your salvation. If Sony is not going to save you. Sony will not do it. Techie Tam Canal, hold up. Wasn't PS1 Classic using a fan-made emulator? Yes. Yes, that's what I said that in my PlayStation 2 Classic video. Go back and watch it. It uses PCSX Rearmed, which is an alright Android-based emulator, but it's not the best emulator, especially when it comes to the sound. The sound is all tinny and inaccurate, but it does play a lot of them fairly well. I modded my my PlayStation Classic to have all the games on it and all that good stuff, but it doesn't take that long. You just got to hunt down the games you want for it, and that takes some time. If you want a good library that you'll actually play, that's another debate I could get into. It's like when it comes to RetroArch, just pick the games you're actually going to play. Like, don't overload it. Don't overdo it. That's a problem I have, like putting games on there that I just never will play again. Anyways, yeah, I've been following the emulation scene. It's getting a lot better on PS4. So if you can afford it, just get a PlayStation 4, even the base model, because the PS4 Pro doesn't have a lot of benefits over it. It may one day have it, but get a PS4 regular or a Slim and just hold on to it for a little bit if you're interested in emulation, because they're finding new entry points all the time. I think it's like 6.72 or maybe 7.0 is the new one. But if you can find one real cheap, pick it up, don't update it, and just hold on, because emulation's getting better on it. And package injection and all that good stuff. Being able to put your own mods on PS4 games and get content that was delisted. Gravity Rush 2. Content that was delisted from Sony servers. I doubt PS4 emulation is going to be around, I don't know, I'll give it at least 6 years, maybe. At least 6 years from now, that'll be the time for PS4 emulation. So if you care about that, get a PS4, hold on to it, follow the scenes. I can give you a website too if you're interested in following PlayStation 4 mod scenes. I can give you a website to check out. It's wololo.net. That's WOLOLO.net, like Lolo the game. Wololo, the .net is a good place for custom firmware resources and stuff like that. Just don't, as I said, don't expect Sony to do it for you, because they just won't. Got him. The underwater segments are pretty okay for a PlayStation 1 game. They're not terrible. But like Mario 64, it's all about that water meter. Got the monkey on the shark. Woo! PS1 emulation on Beetle RetroArch Core feels nearly perfect on the PC. That's what I'm emulating, what you're seeing right now. I am playing Ape Escape 1 on my Xbox Series X running Retrospective, which is a RetroArch fork. And in that, I'm running the Beetle core. I'm using a CRT shader called Matthias. So you won't see it anywhere else, folks, just here on the Cool Stream. But I'm playing it on my Series X, having a wonderful time. Had zero issues. I can do save states. It's got custom box art. You can throw filters. You can put borders on it. Customize the controls inside out. Nothing better. Except for like maybe injecting it and playing it on a Vita. That's also pretty cool too. It plays really well on a Vita. All right, let's find a monkey. Oh boy. Max in the chat says, Miles, just as you speak, Wololo published an article on the Flow 7.55 exploit tease. The Flow, the world's most famous PlayStation modder. Outside of George Hotz, if you guys remember that back in the day, George Hotz, the guy who hacked the PlayStation 3. Outside of George, the Flow is the MVP when it comes to PlayStation hacking. He is teasing a new 7.55 firmware, which is a very, very recent firmware. That's past PlayStation VR. I think that may be around the time of Death Stranding. A tease for a new entry point. So that's really cool. Thanks, Max, for posting that. Yeah. I follow that scene a lot, and that scene is about to boom. Let me tell you something. The moment 7.55, if there is an exploit, because right now it's a rumor, it's a tease. If there is an exploit point for 7.55, that opens up like over 1 million PS4s to be exploited on the market. That's over 1 million out there. Easy to find. It's going to bring more people to the scene, which means cooler and cooler stuff's going to be coming out for the PlayStation homebrew scene. Maybe even a PS3 emulator. Do you even know how crazy that would be if you had a PS4 that could play systems up to PS3 and PS4 games on top of that? Why would you ever get a PS5 at that point? Until they, of course, modify the PS5. But yeah, I will say the PS4, if you have the correct firmware, it's pretty painless to modify. And there's so much to gain. Custom PlayStation 2 injections. So that's pretty cool. Thank you for that news. Just as the cool stream was going on, the PlayStation 4 gets a new exploit tease. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I follow that scene. Luxaz says, Hikiko, by the way, I tried adding you to my PSN friend list, but you never got any response from you. Don't worry, I don't have The Last of Us 2 trophies. That's probably because I delete pretty much, unless somebody tells me that they're going to friend me, I delete all friend requests. It's nothing personal, but I get more spam than anything else, and like getting notifications of, I know you can turn it off, but I just don't like getting like, oh, this person's online, this is what they're playing, all this and that. It's just nothing personal. It's just I don't play too many online games when it comes to my PS4 anyway, so it's just, it defeats the point. And I keep all my trophies and stuff hidden because I don't want people to know what I'm working on. And I get weird messages. I get weird sexual messages. Weird sexual PSN messages. Come check out these naked photos. I don't get that on Xbox Live. I rarely get any spam on Xbox Live, but I get weird sexual messages on PSN. Because Sony is like so hands-off when it comes to their matchmaking. That's because it used to be free, but now PlayStation Plus is mandatory for a lot of their experiences. Pretty stupid. So no offense if I haven't added you, okay? Nothing personal. J-Man, what's up? My backwards compatible PS3 is the most essential console I own. Yeah, man. Mine is too. I've got to do the towel trick on it again or reflow it. I got to take it to somebody because it yellow lighted of death with my copy of Shadows of the Damned in it. I'd like to get that back up and running, but I've just kind of let it go at the same time. Like I've accepted, like, yeah, it's probably not coming back. So whatever, we can always hope. I'm sure there will be some guy who will document the actual reason why it yellow lights of death or whatever. Can I turn that with the hula hoop? Can I turn that with the hula hoop? I can't. Okay, so we gotta spin that, then I hate the camera because sometimes it pans too low. Woo! We did it! I love Ape Escape. I never really gave it, like, it wasn't a huge franchise that I played. I wouldn't even call it like a franchise I'm nostalgic for, but I appreciate all the stuff it tried to do with the DualShock. There's so many creative uses of the DualShock. Not all of them work, like the rowing, but I would say it really was a trend-setting kind of game and allowed other developers to think differently about their implementation of analog sticks within video games. People would argue, yeah, the 64, of course, was probably the biggest influence on analog control, but I would say that Ape Escape went on to help perfect it. And it taught a whole generation of kids to use two sticks and think about camera control and think about movement and think about it this way. The new HD port, the HD port of Skyward Sword, the biggest feature is that it now has analog control. Like they mapped the motion control to the right joystick. They're going back to Ape Escape controls and selling it for $60. Unbelievable. I don't want to go on that tangent again. Let me get a little sip here. My throat's getting dry. All right, we got Floyd Hotzel says, even Nintendo went paid online. Yeah, they all did. They all did in the end. Boris says, lol. Let's fictive later Dandelion. See ya, Dandelion. GG, someone documented it already, Hikiko, in a very detailed forum post in the NEC capacitor. Really? Oh, are you talking about the yellow light of death? GG on Emulation Station in my Discord. Link me to that. I would love to read that. Michael Madden says, any other fan servers on PS3 other than Demon Souls? In my server, there's this guy named Waffles. Waffles has a YouTube channel. And Waffles is part of that community. He goes through and he like revives. He's part of a community that revives old matchmaking for games that don't have official servers anymore. He would be a great person to ask about that. So if you're in my Discord, at Waffles, and Waffles will tell you. I gotta post their channel. Waffles, if you're watching this video on demand or if you're in chat right now, make yourself and your channel known. And then post it, because Waffles has been behind some of that. But yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, there is a fan community. There's a bunch of fan communities gathered around a lot of games. The most recent one that comes to mind is Resident Evil Outbreak on the PlayStation 2. There's a fan community that's been working on getting those servers and all that content together. And that game is badass. I'm surprised that hasn't been redone already. But yes, Waffles is working on some games. I think Waffles played MAG, Massive Action Game. You guys remember that BS that Sony tried to pull? 100 Battle Royale, 100 players simultaneously. Massive Action Game. And then I think that went out in like a year or two. That was only around for like a year or two. But I think he worked on that team that helped bring that back. So that's very cool. Fictive Truism. I bought a month of PlayStation Plus to play FF7 Remake. Any good tips as someone who hasn't played the mainline Final Fantasy games? This one is very easy. Final Fantasy VII Remake is super easy. One thing that I would recommend, though, is know your hotkeys. Set up your hotkeys for your NPCs. So you'll have like Barrett and Tifa or Aerith. Learn the hot switching system and how to switch between different characters and use their limit breaks. And then also be able, like, don't fully rely on them. Don't fully rely on them to do the right thing in the moment. It's just like Kingdom Hearts AI. Don't fully rely on your AI partners when it comes to item management, because your Kingdom Hearts partners like Goofy will be like, Sora, here's an elixir. Here's an Omega elixir. You wanted a Mega elixir? Sora? Don't rely on Square Enix AI. Also, thank you for that article. I'm seeing that people are adding me right now, so thank you very much. I will read that article right now. I appreciate that, Gigi. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake's really, really easy, and there's also different modes. If you've never played a Final Fantasy before, there's two settings you can go. You can go active or wait. If you want more traditional, go wait, but I would go active. FF7 Remake is really fun in active mode, and just learn your hotkeys, assign them accordingly, and it's really easy. Even on the harder difficulty, I didn't have that bad of a time either. So, and for PlayStation Plus, if you only bought a month, that's a pretty good deal for that game alone. But I would say overall, PlayStation Plus is a worse deal than Game Pass. It is an embarrassingly worse deal than Game Pass. I'd say Nintendo Online is still kind of a bad deal, but at least you get NES and Super Nintendo games for your troubles. At least you get those. You get what? PlayStation 4 games if you have a PS5? I'm still not enthused about that concept. I think Yakuza Like a Dragon also got a patch. They finally got the Golden Series X patch that's been out since wintertime. So if you're looking to play Yakuza Like a Dragon and you got a PS5, now's the time to get it. Get that game. That's like one of the best games of 2020. Seriously, one of the best Yakuza games I've ever played too, even though it breaks tradition. Is this where I go inside the dinosaur? I think it is. Okay. Burnout 3 is getting online back. That'd be cool. I love Burnout 3. That's my favorite in the series. Takedown. Fictive Truism. Cool. Thanks for the tips. Good to hear it's not too difficult. Excited to check the game out soon. Just know this. It pulls a lot of stupid Kingdom Hearts stuff at the end. Like near the end. It's really good until like the Kingdom Hearts stuff starts to happen. You'll know it when you see it, okay? You'll know the Kingdom Hearts kind of things when you see them in Final Fantasy VII Remake. And once again, people try to convince me that's good. That's a good thing, that it pulls the Kingdom Hearts thing in its storyline. I'm not a fan of it. It reminds me a lot of the whole Advent Children movie and the whole extended universe things they did. They try to make Crisis Core and Before Crisis and Dirge of Cerberus happen, and I think the story got worse when the additional content was introduced to the scene. It's not as coherent, and it goes into more of like Gact and Loveless and One-Winged Angels. Like, Sephiroth was more special when he was just one antagonist and they didn't have 7 antagonists that they tried to introduce. I kind of like Crisis Core. I'd say Crisis Core is the best out of the extended universe stuff, but Dirge is god-awful. Advent Children was cool for the 3 fight scenes, and the story's trash. And apparently Square Enix is trying to incorporate all that lore into it, according to their new mobile game they're trying to push. Like the chibi version of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Apparently, Crisis Core is canon in some way, and Advent Children, they're going to run it into the ground again. So, look forward to that, I guess. I think Final Fantasy VII, the original's like better as a standalone product. Square Enix just has this problem where they take a hit franchise, something that was great and beloved by, like, it broke through the mainstream. Now let's make it worse. Let's introduce the stuff the mainstream audience would not like. Okay? Even like 10-2. 10-2 had some weird shit. I like the job class system, but the story's not all that good. 13-2 is an abortion in disc form. Lightning Returns, the gameplay's better in Lightning Returns, but no one really cares story-wise. Here's a deep cut. Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Lions for the PSP. Let's add voice acting. Let's add cutscenes. That's not what I want. I did not want Final Fantasy VII Tactics to be any slower than it already was. Okay? I love that game with every fiber of my being. I did not want voice acting. I did not want cutscenes. I wanted faster gameplay. I wanted it to be on the level of speed of the later Disgaea games, okay? The later Disgaea games. Crank up the speed in Final Fantasy Tactics. That's where you got me. Square Enix is very tone deaf when it comes to a lot of what their fans want. And it's because they have so many weird stands that defend the worst practices. The Kingdom Hearts fan base. It's the reason why they have so many terrible games is because they keep buying them. And they're never critical of their worst products, I think. When Nomura gets an ego on his shoulders and introduces 30,000 characters and terrible... Okay, let me talk about some Dream Eaters. Should I talk about some Dream Eaters on the 3DS? Birth by Sleep. Having to raise a pet and rub them and feed them in-game, and then play through each of the levels twice as 2 different characters and barely have any development for 20 hours. Ugh. I fell off. I played a little Kingdom Hearts 3, like I played all the Toy Story stuff. I played the Monsters Inc. level, and I had enough. I didn't even finish it. It was so bad, I couldn't even finish it. The only argument I hear for Kingdom Hearts 3 is graphics are like what they're almost as good as Pixar in 1998. They're better than Pixar in 1998. That's the excuse I heard about Kingdom Hearts 3. It was awful. It was awful. I'm pissing off the Kingdom Hearts fans. I know. I'm sorry, guys. You can like what you like. You can like what you like. But that series is just... I'm sorry that they did that to you guys. I'm sorry that they did that to you. Seeing a shadow of its former self year after year. And it's not even the final Kingdom Hearts 3. They're going to have updates. They're going to have final special prologue 17, Organization 13, Roxas Edition, forever and ever, forever and ever. Triple Sephiroth threat is what we need in our Final Fantasies, yeah. Demon Prince Kaivala says, expect Kaja and Vice to be bosses and Vincent's repulsive chaos forms as a limit. I always thought Vincent was like one of my favorite characters because he was a throwback to old horror movies and stuff like that, like werewolves and Frankenstein's monster and the behemoth, the demons. I thought Vincent had a lot of potential as a character, but you know they're going to milk out a story arc. They're going to definitely milk out a story arc. I do not know to what extent the whole geostigma bullshit from Advent Children's going to rear its ugly head, but you know it's going to be in there. The live stream sickness and all that. Remember that? Remember that? Not a fan. Dream Drop Distance, yeah, 3Ds. Yeah, I don't get the hype about ray tracing, and I have the world's most powerful gaming console TM. And I don't know, it doesn't look all that good to me. Particle effects, I've seen particle effects. I've had Adobe After Effects for a long time. The magic is lost on me. I get it. I get what they're trying to do. But I'm not impressed. Base Jeff Dunham. I hate saying that. By the way, change your screen name. Please change it. Base Jeff Dunham, 22 says, can Nomura be stopped? Should he? Yeah, I think Hajime Tabata was stopped. But I like Hajime Tabata's games. I think Hajime Tabata's games had focus. I really liked Final Fantasy 15, and I didn't think the story was as cryptic as people made it out to be in their shitty video essays. Do I think that the universe was too big for its own good? Yes. Do I think they took too long in development? Yes. But the story is very comprehensible if you just read the compendium and paid attention during cutscenes. But it was Final Fantasy 15 was an experience. It was an all-encompassing experience. There was a movie, there was a manga, there was a free anime. You had to want to be a part of the experience. And I loved the crew. I thought it was a breath of fresh air to have likable characters in a Final Fantasy game. I love Noctis, Ignis, Gladio, and Prompto. Love them. Some of my favorite Final Fantasy characters to date. Having likable characters, likable protagonists with clear goals. Bring it on. I love the boys. I love the open world. I loved how it didn't feel like I was constantly going through hallways and crevices like I was in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Somebody got mad at me like that for saying that. Well, the reason why you had to go through all the reason why they had 2D PlayStation 1 textures in the background of their skyboxes, the reason why they had that, and because they had all those hidden loading screens of crevices and walkways and stuff and tightrope walking. The reason why they had all that is because the PS4 was showing its age. I'm like, meanwhile, Final Fantasy 15 exists. It has a broad open world to explore. They can high fly around in with no limits. that you can fly. You can fly your transforming regalia. Your regalia that can turn into a monster truck. It can turn into just your regular convertible, and it can also turn into a jet and fly away. You can fight a giant adamantoise mountain. Final Fantasy VII just wants you to play your game, and you can't even play the whole thing. Like, everything is just a cinematic QTE. Okay, the cinematics are beautiful. The music's beautiful. The music's really good. The gameplay's serviceable, but it's such a watered down experience compared to Final Fantasy 15. Stack them up against each other. I'd much rather have a game take risks and like do something wild and crazy. Everyone complains, oh, Final Fantasy 15, you mash a button to win. There's a lot of strategy in some of the hidden boss fights. There's a lot of strategy in completing all the rare hunts. Okay? And learning the magic system and learning, upgrading your characters. Okay, there is strategy in there. I'd say there's more strategy in that game than there is in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay, I would say Final Fantasy VII Remake has more of a spam to win quality than Final Fantasy 15. Do you remember that one stealth section in Final Fantasy 15 though? You remember that one time I had to stealth and then they patched it because I complained? Yes, I do. But it wasn't all that bad. It took me maybe an hour to get through that section. And I'm not gonna... Like, I see the forest through the trees or what have you. Like, I see that, yes, that section was flawed, but it's not a deal breaker. Like, the 80 other hours I had of fun, that one tiny little section doesn't ruin it for me. Monster of the Deep, one of the most enjoyable fishing games I've ever played in my lifetime. Thank you, Hajime fucking Tabata. Okay? Thank you, Based Tabata. Thank you for making one of the best fishing games ever made. All right, I went a little too hard on that one. They're both great games, but for different reasons. I really, really love 15. I think 15 is better than Final Fantasy VII Remake. The milking, like after you play through the 30 hours of Remake, you're just like, oh, this is pretty good. That was all right. But you're left with not much else to do. I guess I can play through it again on hard mode. We'll do that. I can do the VR simulators, the VR missions. That's pretty much all that's left in Final Fantasy VII Remake after you beat it. I can go through it again and see Yuffie. I can pay $500 to see Yuffie. If that's worth it to you, more power to you. I missed my window on that one. Lux Sass says, there's so many astroturfers and stealth marketeers online, it's not even funny. Yeah. Final Fantasy J-Man came in and he dropped the truth on you. The truth bomb was dropped by J-Man in chat. He says Final Fantasy VII Remake is so much more like Final Fantasy 13. It's not even funny how true that is. Okay? I like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Hell, I even like 13. But they are so linear and so hallway. They are so hallway. Okay? But people are like, oh, Final Fantasy VII is exactly everything I wanted. Are you sure about that? I guarantee this happens all the time. History will prove Hikiko correct again. You will be saying Hikiko was right. I should be wearing my Final Fantasy 15 shirt. I do have one of those. I wear it out in public proudly, okay? You will be saying that Final Fantasy 15 was a great game. There will be retrospectives. There will be the grand vision of Hajime Tabata, the secret genius of Hajime Tabata and the Final Fantasy 15 extended universe. I would say the Final Fantasy 15 extended universe is far more interesting and fun than the Final Fantasy 7 universe. All the fucking attempts to milk the cow of Final Fantasy 7, every Final Fantasy 15 spinoff, Monster of the Deep, Pocket Edition, Kingsglaive, the online, what is it? What was the online one? Wherever it was like 4-player online game, the anime, the movie, all of that, the mobile game, all of that was far more entertaining and fun than any Final Fantasy VII project. Better than Dirge of Cerberus, better than Advent Children, better than Crisis Core, before Crisis. All that, okay? I would stack it up against that. Better than the entire Final Fantasy 13 experience. Okay? Better than all that. And then people bitched and moaned. They bitched and moaned about it. So now you get episodic Final Fantasy VII delivered to you part by part, hallway by hallway. Good graphics, funny meme characters. Congratulations. I would take the bros. I would take the Royal Bros. I would take Noctis, Ignis, Gladio, and Prompto at their worst over at Final Fantasy VII at their best, okay? Final Fantasy 15, the whole extended world was beautiful. It was a great idea. And you're going to be nostalgic for it. You're going to hate the hallways. You're going to hate how getting out of Midgar. Do you realize how I don't know. I just feel like we're in for a world of disappointment when they finally do reveal the open world bits of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay. I may be wrong about this, but showing off Yuffie DLC, and the Yuffie DLC doesn't even give you a taste of what's to come. Because here's the thing. Part 1, Chapter 1, Midgar, is supposed to be linear. Okay, that you can excuse it for being linear because it's on the PS4. But Part 2 has to be great. It has to be open world, riding chocobos across the marshes and the giant snake, avoiding the snake, riding Sid's airship, the High Wind. You got a submarine in there, a ship, vehicles. You got to have Golden Saucer. There's so much. There's so much I could go into. You got to make it interesting. Like, how are you going to zoom in to Cloud? Or are you going to have him be a chibi on a big open map? I don't know. Final Fantasy 13-2 had the Pokemon mechanic. Yeah, but the story was time traveling nonsense. Luxaz says, I really think the art direction in Final Fantasy VII is, compared to the original, is really uninspired. I mean, yeah, I can see what you're saying. They cut a lot of corners that you may not have noticed. I would say Midgar and the Sector 7 slums didn't feel as, I don't know, inviting and realized. One of the gripes I had, I did review Final Fantasy VII Remake with David up on my channel. One of the problems they had to do that I had with the game was they did this thing wherever they have chatterbox NPCs where they have a ticker for all the chatter that's going on in town, and it removed any of the personality from the NPCs. It just made them feel like motion-activated robots. I really don't like that in RPGs. You don't have the option to go up and just talk to them if you want to. Hit a prompt, talk to them, give flavor text. It's just ticker tape. Here's a ticker tape of all the dialogue. So that bothered me. And I mean, there were some things I thought were cool. I thought they handled Don Corneo, his mansion segment was very, very funny and good. But the Sector 7 slums, I don't know, it didn't feel as downtrodden as I had in my head from the original one. And you didn't have that fear that shit was really bad. Like that caste system, where they establish, like, okay, here are the people that live in the slums. Here are the people that live closer near Shinra, yada, yada, yada. It wasn't as developed as it was in 7, but they rushed through a few things here and there. I'm hard-pressed on stream to list all of them, but if you go back and watch my video, I list all my miniature gripes with it. I mean, I liked it, as I said. It's a good game, but I still think Final Fantasy 15, I preferred that way, way much more than I did 7 Remake. And I think 15 got a lot of grief. And then, as a result, now we're left with more cinematic adventures, and, you know, that's not always a great thing at the end. And it felt like I was reaching an unnatural level cap. It's Final Fantasy VII. One of the funnest things about the game was being able to break the level cap and break the materia system and do this and that. And it felt like the level cap came way too soon. And that even if I wanted to grind and go for rare things, would that all carry over into the main game? Are they going to raise the level cap by the time they get to the next chapter? Like, how far does that go? The balance felt weird, but ultimately pretty good game, but not the direction I would have wanted for the remake. That woolly mammoth is going to stomp on me. I just know it. Can I attack it? Can I hop on it? Oh, I'm getting hit by its shockwaves. No wonder. Woo! Okay, that's bad. I need some cookies. You know what they call the health system here? When you lose all your health in this game? In the instruction manual of Ape Escape, they call it tossing your cookies. Every time you get hit, you toss a cookie. Funny way of saying vomiting. Yeah, the most obvious thing in the remake is the JPEGs. Yeah, the skyboxes were really bad. And that's something I can't get over. As I looked at the PlayStation 5 version of the Final Fantasy remake side by side, and those low-resolution skybox JPEGs are still there. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't go anywhere. So they couldn't tweak that. They couldn't add a PNG or do what the Final Fantasy 8 and 9 community are doing and doing the AI upscaling. Just throw it through an AI upscaler, bump it up to 4K. Still looked very bad for a AAA game. Okay, this is a AAA game. Final Fantasy VII is Square's biggest cow, almost of all time. I'd probably say of all time. And that they're throwing JPEG skyboxes at you. Couldn't even be bothered to render out a 4K model in the background. And the worst part is like when you're climbing up, you're on Final Fantasy VII, you're climbing up the Shinra. You're trying to get up to the Shinra building, and there's this like beautiful sunset, and you're on one of the plates, and you like look over to the slums of where you've been, and you see this very jagged JPEG. One of the ugliest things. I couldn't get over that. And I'm not even a graphic snob. I'm not a graphic snob. And it happens again when you battle Rufus on the top of the Shinra building. Like, you climb up this really tall ladder to be treated to another JPEG. And they just keep doing that. Like, what was the point? I thought graphics were the thing going for here. Taki Tam Canal says, Half-Life Alyx had astonishing skyboxes. Yeah, I want to play that. That's like my number one VR game that if I ever bought a VR headset, that'd be a day one purchase for me. Unfortunately, PSVR is the wagon I've hitched myself to, which probably won't get Half-Life Alyx. Let's see. Hikiko, I will have to check out that video again. Yeah, it's a conversation. It's called Materia Boys Talk about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was an unscripted thing, but I think our conversation flowed really nicely between David and I. David is not a PlayStation fan at all. He went and got a PlayStation. Like, his first RPG, his first JRPG was Final Fantasy VII. So I thought his perspective was interesting. And I told my story about my first encounter, and then we just kind of deconstructed it. And I think we hit on all the same points. I think people slept on it because they're like, oh, it's not an edited review. There was editing in there. I did edit the conversation for time and flow and all that. It is an edited video. And we listed all of our gripes. I used gameplay clips and footage. I have a Final Fantasy VII Remake review on there. Just people, they're conditioned by thumbnails. They're conditioned, I don't know, to expect a certain thing. But I think it's a really good and interesting conversation between two people with wildly different experiences with Final Fantasy. There's also a couple of I told you so's in there, so expect those. Let's see here. They had 30 hours to work with, and they still skimmed the details, which is dumb. Yeah, on the remake. As I said, it's a good game. I enjoyed my time with it. I would recommend it, yes. But if you're a fan of the original, and if you're a fan of RPGs in general, like, it's hard for me. It's hard for me, like, when Nier, 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 is one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I love more action RPGs, but I also like to explore the terrain. I like to jump. I like some platforming, some light platforming sections, and when it's done right, I like to be able to change up my weapons, and a bit of material grinding is also kind of nice too. But 7 Remake, for a game with all that budget, felt so restrictive in that regard. Stack it up against Nier. Even the PlayStation 3 or 360 Nier, I would call it a better, more enjoyable experience for me. You gotta have something. You gotta have freedom of movement if you're gonna be more action-based. And I think it was trying to go for a middle ground between action and RPG and storytelling. Like, it didn't feel as refined in that regard. Nier is a fantastic series. Yes, I am looking forward to Replicant Remaster. I do own the original Replicant on the PS3, and I have the translation patch, so that's pretty fun. I'm going to have to play both of them. I would like to cover Nier Replicant and explain why it's my favorite series. I don't know. I'm sure that's been done a million times, but Nier is my favorite Squaresoft series of all time. Just that world, the amount of uniqueness that went into that world, and developing a unique language, and the soundtrack, and the atmosphere of depression and morose, and Nier is on par with Silent Hill. On par with that in terms of just how dark it can get and devastating. I also like the shoot 'em up, like the hybrid shoot 'em up gameplay too. I thought that was really creative. But I am Team Papa Nier. So if you're wondering, I am full Team Papa Nier, but I'm gonna give this next one, or this Yoko Taro's favorite, a chance. I trust Yoko Taro. Hey, what's up, Mr. T? Good to see ya. Hope all is well. Hey, Hikiko, just got back from work. Good to see you, man. You missed the intro. We went wild. I'll play it as an outro. I'll play the video I made as an outro, but chat's been super active today. Thank you so much for the support. We got some good super chats. I saw some new members in there. If you're not a member, I think all my members get green. They get a green background. They get the badge. They get to post all the emotes and stuff like that. So please definitely join the Hikiko Badges crew if you haven't. Also, you know I'm going to do it. Leave that like. Leave it. Did you guys notice this? Get out of here. Get out of here. You guys notice that I made it pink? I redesigned that leave that like animation to make it pink to blend against this green gradient that I made. Every time there's a cool stream, you'll notice there's a little change or an improvement. I got the pink light casting on my face. Just little things that I try and do to make it a better show for you, or at least more visually appealing. GameSack shirt. Subscribe to GameSack. Like I need to tell you guys. We're almost at 6,000 subs on the channel. I appreciate that support, man. The cool stream has exceeded my wildest dreams. We had 60 people watching at one point during this stream. I see more familiar faces. You guys are loyal. You're supporting me on Patreon and the badges and the super chats. That doesn't go unnoticed, okay? I buy myself the chicken sandwiches. Okay, I buy myself new equipment for the channel. It really does go back into the channel. And helps me get what the channel needs to continue on. 2021, I think by the end of it, I'm going to upgrade my video making equipment. I got the camera last year. I got a new camera last year. This year I'm working on building a new PC because I want to make more motion graphics like I did for my D4 video. My D4 video, I hand did everything from scratch. Everything. And that was fun, but it also my computer is showing its limits, so I'd like to do some of that, and it also makes the videos go by faster when I have better equipment, because I have to scrub through all the footage. I have to splice clips and do side-by-side comparisons, and that stuff eats up a lot of power, and my computer is a generation and a half behind, I would say. So it's something that's been on my list to do. So that'll be the next thing I do. Upgrade the computer, and it'll help out the videos and make them competitive. I will say. I try and be unique and have a certain style and produce the best graphics and stuff I can and Photoshop things, but my computer is really reaching its last legs. And I've backed up my stuff, by the way. I went through and I backed up my old videos and my old files just in case the worst happens. So that's what we're going to be working on next. When I finally do upgrade my equipment, I'll make a Patreon blog about it, talk about that process. Once a month, I update my Patreon blog, so if you're interested in the behind the scenes and what's coming up, it's only $1. I don't have a huge paywall for stuff. As much as those people on the internet like to complain about paywalls for content, my Patreon is really if you want to support the behind the scenes stuff, because like the only way I can afford to make these videos and upgrade my equipment is through your generous support. And I do detail the process and what my thoughts were in creating the videos and what I've got coming up next. And more recently, I put a little list of what's coming up next. So if you're interested, patreon.com/Hikiko. I really should have that on my stream somewhere. But I do list what I'm working on. Occasionally, I do release an exclusive video on there, but they're not like my main content. It's just like a video or something of me like, hey, here's what's coming up, or hey, it's Hikiko, that sort of thing. So that's going on the Patreon. The thing is, it used to be like a $1 tier and a $5 tier. I brought it down to pay what you want. I think pay what you want's kind of a more fair model, and it allows everyone to support the channel. I just don't want to restrict my content behind paywall. Not saying I won't do it in the future, like release earlier videos and stuff like that, but I release them when I can make them is usually how it goes, when I have the time to make them. So I appreciate you guys for being patient. Last year was like the craziest year of HM of all time. I went hard on the sweary files, and I'm definitely going hard in the paint, but I think I've covered the biggest sweary games already. And I also released a new video. A new sweary files is out there too. I released the Purple Suit Mystery, a little sweary files mini. So there are 2 sweary games scheduled for this year. There's The Good Life, which comes out late spring, I believe. So I will be doing a sweary files on that. Also, if Hotel Barcelona Sweary X Suda comes out, I'll be doing that too. So you can expect that. There will be a Suda not a Suda Gaiden, a Grasshopper B-sides. Maybe a Suda Gaiden, but there will be a Grasshopper B-sides on No More Heroes 3. That comes out this summer. So, just around the corner. I'm working on a big video right now. It's going to take me a little time. But first, I think really big video of the year will be out mid-March. We'll see how that goes. But there's 3 games I'm covering, so I beat 2 of them, and then I'm working with somebody else on the 3rd one. So that'll be out soonish. But yeah, I'm not going full-blown Spoonie on you guys. May he rest in peace. But I'm just letting you know what's up. So yeah, there's a more in-depth update up on the Patreon. Go check it there. I will be updating it for March. So after I release the video, I'll write a new blog. I may be doing some more of those blogs, but I feel this cool stream kind of covers the bases of what I would want to talk about. Like, you guys already asked me very interesting questions here. Somebody asked if I had an ask.fm, and I do not. I guess that's a good way to keep in touch with people, and they ask me random questions, like if they wouldn't want to ask me them on the cool streams. But I'm an open book here on the cool stream, so like if you ever have a weird question, don't feel shy. I will answer them here. So we got that going here on the cool stream. What do we got here? Yeah, pour one out for Ape Escape 4. The Ape Escape 4 is Ape on the move. Glaveson says he also likes money. No game dev have I ever seen ever just said how it is, and he wants money. That's how all he really wants. What are you talking about, Glaveson? Who wants the money? Do I want the money? Yes, I want the money. Yes, I also want the money. That's a good reason to support me too. That is a good reason to support me too. Which developer are you talking about? F? Oh yeah, F in chat for Spoonie. Will I do a sweary files for Spy Fiction? I briefly covered Spy Fiction and my Deadly Premonition retrospective, it's on the table for sure, but it's not high priority, if that makes sense. I'm trying to build up my channel, believe it or not, and I'm being kind of selective on what I cover. Like, I want to cover more new games, but the downside to new games is the things I want to play are few and far between in the new era. So I'm trying to go for the hits first, and then when I build up more of an audience, this fucking Deku over here, when I build up more of an audience for the deeper cuts, I'll go back to more deeper cuts. But right now I'm trying to get at least, I mean, here's the thing, guys. I release a video on No More Heroes. Look at the No More Heroes trailer on the Nintendo Direct. Look at the No More Heroes 3 trailer on Nintendo Direct. It's at 125K. Right? 125K views for an upcoming game releasing this summer. Highly anticipated sequel. 125K views for No More Heroes 3. Right? I'm lucky if I get 10% of that. Okay? That's how niche No More Heroes 3 has gotten. I'm not sure if it was because of Travis Strikes Again or the Zoomers just don't give a fuck. Maybe it. No More Heroes 3 is what I would consider a mainstream, like a Grasshopper A-side. That is something that I would say that Suda's known for. And even that is like not really drawing a crowd. So it's kind of an existential thing for me. Like, I got to figure out some mainstream games that cross over into the Japanese subgenre, Japanese video game subgenre that I typically cover, that's going to get at least some sort of traffic. But I am going to be covering No More Heroes 3. So, like, my perspective is what I'm trying to say is, like, even covering something like that is kind of like a gamble, if you will, in terms of who's going to show up. I know my core subscribers are definitely going to show up for that. They love the B-sides, and they're very supportive on the B-sides, but getting new subs on that is going to be a tough thing to swing. And all the morons on YouTube trashed all over Travis Strikes Again. Like, they put out the most half-assed, missing the point videos on Travis Strikes Again. So imagine that a lie gets its way around the world while the truth's still getting its pants on situation for Travis Strikes Again. And people that shout out like 5-minute reviews of it bad game and it's you know how it went. All the people that went out there and put out all those low effort videos tarnished the reputation. The HD collections probably, they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. They missed the mark. Those should have come out first before Travis Strikes Again. I will say that. And now, like, No More Heroes 3 is probably going to be a flop, right? So just know, when I make the No More Heroes 3 video, it's out of love for Suda. It's out of love for you guys, okay? I'll put my heart and soul into it, but I need you to turn up for sure. You gotta turn up. You gotta give me all the algorithm. Do all the algorithm things. Do those things for me, and I would really appreciate that, okay? Not even asking for Patreon or what have you, but if I make that No More Heroes 3 video awesome, I need you in there too. So thank you kindly for that. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm expecting. I'm expecting Heroes 3 to flop, unfortunately. It's just not gaining traction. Travis Strikes Again, as cool as I thought it was, it probably did more harm than good. Suda really needed to ride that No More Heroes weirdness of 1 and 2 and get those out first. I would say that Travis Strikes Again, what should have been like a multi-plat, like from the get-go. It is a multi-plat now, but it should have been a multi-plat from the get-go. But yeah, a lot of bad decision making. Not that Grasshopper, that's strange for Grasshopper, but yes, it's going to be a weird experiment. Will it be awesome? I think it's going to be fantastic. It seemed fun. It seemed like the spirit's back. So if he goes out on a Hail Mary for No More Heroes, mad respect to Suda, but I don't know. That he's got to be pushing it every day. Like, now's the time to be going crazy and partnering with streamers, partnering with channels like Hikikomori Media, you ungrateful son of a bitch, Suda51. Partnering with me, I will review your game and I will lie to my audience. If you give me a free copy, Suda51, I will lie about you sponsoring my channel and I will give it a perfect 10. I will lie to my audience right now and give it a perfect 10, okay? My ethics can be bought cheaply. Okay, if you just give me a signed copy, I will give it a 10 out of 10. Suda. I tease, but I'm serious. But yeah, I would love to see success. I don't see an avenue for success for No More Heroes. After seeing like the low view count on the No More Heroes 3 content that's already out there, I don't see it. Let's put it this way. I do not see GameStop carrying any copies on their store shelves or having a No More Heroes standee in their store. Okay, there hasn't been a physical copy of 1 and 2 when there really needs to be a physical copy of 1 and 2 right now on store shelves at Walmart, at GameStop. Okay, if you want any success for 3. So hopefully he developed it on a very shoestring budget, which I assume he did, that he can make up some money for it. But beyond that, maybe he'll break even. This is truly a passion project. So if you love Suda, if you love No More Heroes, you got to be buying it. And I don't want to hear any of you guys bitching if it comes out as digital only. Like, you've got to support it. If you want it again, you can't turn your nose up and say, well, I'm not going to support it digitally because Suda couldn't afford to release a physical copy. If he can't afford to release a physical copy, you got to go out there and buy it, okay? You got to go out there and buy it, because other than that, you're not going to see any more No More Heroes. This may be it. This may be it. It's a goddamn miracle that it's happening. And that's what I hate the most, is like naysayers that find any excuse not to support the games they love and then wonder why it's a dead franchise. You may not like a digital copy, but it may be all you get. Okay? I hope that's not the case. I went out and I bought 2 copies of fucking Travis Strikes Again. Do you guys even understand? I bought 2 copies of that game for you, so you could have No More Heroes 3. You're welcome. You're welcome for that. But, yeah, I did it. I bought 2 copies of it. I also am planning on buying a physical PS4 copy if I can hunt one down. There is a physical PS4 copy of that game. Based, Jeff Dunham, pay Ninja to play it on stream. Imagine the torrent of zoomies that it would bring. I don't know. Ninja would probably get bored of it and trash it real quick. Nero Smith with a great question. Nero says, if you had to die in the middle of an autoerotic asphyxiation and they found your body mid-act holding a game, which one would it be? So I'm jerking off and hanging myself at the same time, but I'm still alive and I'm holding a video game. Which video game would it be that would be in my hands at the time for my family to find me, to discover me? I'm gonna go with Cho Anarchy. A copy of Muscle March of Cho Anarchy right there. I want them to get the right impression. I want the coroner to say, yes, he was engaged in an act of autoerotic asphyxiation, and he was holding up a copy of Choaniki. I want that to be in the byline of my obituary, okay? I'm going out holding only the best. It'll at least give all my haters something to talk about. Shout out to Captain Psychopath. By the way, Captain Psychopath on his channel, that dude got the algorithm down. I collaborated with him on an episode of Did You Know Gaiman? Did You Know Gaiman on Anarchy, okay? I did the voice of Anarchy in that video on Captain Psychopath's channel. Go watch it. He hit 40,000, okay? 40,000 on Did You Know Gaiman? Just type in Did You Know Gay Men, and you can see our Billy Harrington history video. And I did the voice of Billy Harrington on that video of Anarchy. On Barbie and the NES. I still have my copy of Barbie on the NES. That would also be a good one. All right, guys. We're hitting 3.5 hours. That's exactly where I wanted to be. Reminder, not letting you off the hook. Leave a like. Feed us in chat. Feed us in chat. Okay. Shout out to GameSack. I got this shirt from Joe and Dave back when they were together. I got this shirt from Joe and Dave. Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I had to pay for it. I had to pay them $20 for this shirt. But I'll tell you what. I wear this shirt every time there's a new GameSack on. It's a comfortable shirt. I've taken good care of it. It's one of my favorite e-celebrity shirts. Let me read some chat here. Squeaky says, physical only dweebs annoy me to no end. Yeah, you can't have it all, okay? Occasionally, like if you buy the digital one, a physical one does come out later. That can be shitty, but you have to understand the economics behind it. And if digital is all we can get, you got to go with it. Support what you can, what you want to see in the world, okay? Otherwise, it's gone. As we saw with Japan Studios. Deadly Premonition would be another good one, Squeaky. But Swery would still never acknowledge it. He would still think about the time I trashed Deadly Premonition 2. And hold that grudge. No, he wouldn't. He still wishes me happy birthday. I just kid. I love Swery. Thank you for the happy birthdays. The Red Gun says, I enjoyed all the No More Hero games equally. I really question those that trashed on Travis Strikes Again. It's because they didn't get it. It was a love letter to Suda fans. But also it was kind of cheap. Very, very on the cheap side. Neurosmith says, 90s gay porn is so wholesome. Sure is. Capture Panic 98, hopefully one day you and him can take down the fake Did You Know Gaming. Yeah, they are the fake ones. I miss Joe and Dave together, yeah. It was Dave that left. Joe still makes it. Does physical even matter in the world of day one patches? That's what I said, Base Jeff Dunham. That's what I said. I will go on a mini tangent. There's a guy I know and love. There's a guy I know and love, and some of the people that watch him watch me. He went on a whole tangent, whole rant about how the Xbox Series X requires you to download the games. Like you pop in the disc, you download the game, and you have to get it from Microsoft servers, right? I understand his gripes. But the very fact that you can get that game from Microsoft and they provide all the updates and all the upscales is leagues ahead of Sony, okay? Leagues ahead. And physical games as they are pretty much worthless unless you get a game of the year. That much is true. Because the moment a day one patch comes out, and you have to download 500 gigabytes, like, or something ridiculous, just like ridiculous patches, like even Red Dead Redemption, the version 1.0 copies. Okay, what are you arguing for? Your physical copy will allow you to play the 1.0 game 30 years from now. By that time, emulation has already filled that niche. Emulation's around. You can mod your console, whatever. It will happen by the time that the physical copy is then necessary in the post-apocalyptic world. The moment your game gets a patch, that physical copy is as good as worthless. The moment it gets additional DLC content, that could also all go away. Every single gaming company is guilty of this now. We fed this monster, now we gotta live with it. Emulation is your only salvation, says Hikiko. Hashtag Hikiko is right. Leave that like. And I'm gonna play one thing for you too. One more thing. If you didn't show up to the intro of this stream, I'm gonna play it as my outro. I made it a tribute to Japan Studios, and I hope you enjoy it. And then I'll say goodbye.
Welcome, minasan yokoso. Sony Interactive Entertainment no Jim Ryan desu. PlayStation wa korekara mo sekai de ichiban no game o tsukurimasu. Motomoto omoshiroi desu. Doki doki shimasu. Issho no tanoshimimashou.